Are you driving down the road right now with back or neck pain or pain into your arms or legs? Maybe your struggle is getting out of your bed or chair. Maybe you get weakness when you put weight on your leg or swing your golf club. It's time you address this problem once and for all. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, these are the conditions that we treat every day, except we treat the root of the problem. No injections or pain meds. Non-surgical spinal decompression, recognized around the country for incredible statistical results for long-term pain relief. Break the cycle of pain from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, arthritis, or car accidents. Non-surgical spinal decompression can get your life back. Spinal decompression is safe and comfortable for any age and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. Don't hurt anymore when the answer is only a phone call away. Call our Medicare-friendly office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Honoring movies a lot of us didn't see in theaters, closed by the pandemic. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and the Oscar goes to Nomadland, winning Best Picture.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. We know the sword is our work.
Frances McDormand won Best Actress for her role in Nomadland at the Academy Awards on ABC. Chloe Zhao became the first Asian woman to win Best Director.
Zhao's win added to the night's big diversity tally as women picked up 16 awards. The father picked up 2, including one for Anthony Hopkins as Best Actor. Soul grabbed 2 awards, as did Judas in The Black Messiah, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and Mank.
Fox's Michelle Polino. As more coronavirus vaccine shots go into American arms, the number of new COVID cases reported in the U.S. yesterday was only about 32,000, the fewest in a day since September, with just 280 deaths. The situation far different in India, with a record COVID spike the U.S. is offering to help deal with. Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, with Indian hospitals swamped, President Biden has pledged to send raw materials for vaccines, medical equipment and protective gear. For a 5th day in a row, India just set a new world record for COVID infections, adding more than 352,000 cases in 24 hours. In the capital, New Delhi, some patients are being turned away from overcrowded hospitals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the country has been shaken by a storm. His critics say he's mishandled the crisis. Dave.
Simon Vice President Harris will address the UN today on preparing for the next pandemic. She's also been tasked with trying to help ease the migrant surge at the border, telling CNN's State of the Union,
"It's not going to be solved overnight. It's a complex issue."
She blames Trump administration policies. Republicans blame President Biden rolling them back, calling the surge a crisis. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
Good Monday morning. A pretty clear start across Southwest Florida on our roadways. I-75 looking good in both directions. A little busy near Southwest Florida International Airport. Right now near mile marker 129. Just some cars starting to get out there, but no congestion, no construction on our interstate here in Southwest Florida. We're watching a little bit of trouble also if you're heading out toward Matlacha and Pine Island in both directions on Pine Island Road. Just seeing some slowdowns out there eastbound and westbound crossing over Matlacha. Looking good on Alligator Alley if you're getting ready to head toward the East Coast this morning. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Monday, Southwest Florida. Factoring in some cooler and drier air this morning. In fact, most areas in the 60s, but I've even had a few inland spots into the upper 50s. Now, the same dry air that's keeping us mild this morning will allow for temperatures to peak in the upper 80s and lower 90s this afternoon. But hey, at least a lot of sunshine for your Monday. Now, we do factor in a chance of rain, but it doesn't come in till the second half of your work week. I'm Wake News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything going on.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home, so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's pest prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need certainty in the home buying process with a loan that fits your life, Rocket can.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. We entrepreneurs are always improving our listening skills. My dad told me at age 29, Michael, you're a man now. You're about to be married. You have responsibilities. You'd be a fool to start your own business. I did what any loving son would do. I started 5 of them. I didn't listen to my dad, but I have learned to listen to my customers, which is why my 5th successful business, Patriot Software, created accounting software to help non-accountants like me keep accurate accounting records. Go to patriotsoftware.com. Use promo code XM and get 2 months of accounting software free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Unfortunately, many drivers in Florida do not carry liability insurance or have limits of insurance that are insufficient to cover your injuries. Uninsured motorist is valuable coverage that you can purchase to protect you in those instances. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Fort Myers, Naples.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. Steele has 3 E's. We always do appreciate the fact that you watch this very program. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to watch Jake the Millennial, who today looks like he's ready for snow. I don't know what's going on. It's not that cold in the studio, although you do look very much ready for a winter solstice, or no, winter has returned, or no. Anyway, you look cold. Are you okay?
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble. All right, so you're banking on the fact that when you walk in the building, it's going to be freezing, and so you'd rather be prepared. So you're a be prepared guy. Is what you are, right? Isn't that the motto of the Boy Scouts? Wasn't that be prepared? Always have, wasn't that? I think that's what it is.
Do you have a bug out bag in your trunk?
A who?
Like a bag with like a little bit of food.
Did you say a bug out bag? A bug out bag? Like, yeah. We got to get out of here. Well, I do have a half a tuna fish sandwich that's been in there. So 239-479-5592. It's a long story. We're not going there. All right. Buckle up. This is going to be a busy day today because we really are going to hit on a lot of what is happening here in Southwest Florida when it comes to the school district. As you know, today is a very big day. You made a difference the last time you showed up at the Lee County School Board. This is the moment in time where if you've said to yourself, I don't know how to make a difference, I'm not sure how I can make a difference politically or at all here in Southwest Florida or nationally, some of the things that are going on, this is where it starts. It starts locally. If you want your voice heard, I would encourage you to be there at the Lee County School Board meeting tonight. Get there early. 6 p.m. is when it starts. Get there a little earlier, 5:45, 5:30, whatever the case may be, so you can get a seat, because tonight you're going to weigh in on the 21-22 Student Code of Conduct. Remember, it was the 2021 Student Code of Conduct that had the Equality Florida issue that was in between the pages, conveniently not brought up in full view to be discussed, to be talked about, to be explained exactly to what the policy is of the district and the board. We don't know still where the board members specifically stand on the Equality Florida issues and the Code of Conduct issues. We want to hear from them certainly tonight. We'd want answers from them. I would like to hear specifically where each one of them stands. And again, what is the issue here? And one of the most important parts of this, and we're going to get into some details on some audio and some information that has come out through the weekend, and some things that were brought to my attention, and it's this. Understand that where some may make this issue about you and the fact that you're some kind of Isterobia or something else, that you're going to be called bigots, you're going to be called every name in the book for showing up tonight. I'm not kidding, because I'm looking at articles here locally in some of the news outlets locally who are quoting people who are saying that specifically. Like, you are bigots for showing up. The reason why you're doing this is because, and they're going to call you every name in the book to try to make you feel so uncomfortable that you're not going to want to show up tonight, that you're not going to want to be there, that because you show up, because you decide to be there, that you somehow are not concerned about the fact that things that happen with the district and things that happen politically need to be not done during a pandemic. We kind of sort of told you, and we kind of sort of passed this, and you really didn't hear about it specifically, about what was in the Code of Conduct and everything else specifically, and things passed, and hey, it's already in there. Sorry, this is what we're doing. No, we tell the board what to do. We tell the politicians in this country what to do. They don't make decisions for us. We tell them the reason why they're elected is because it is our will, not theirs. And so when that is bypassed, that's a problem. When we're told to sit down and shut up because you don't understand, or you're just a bigot and you need to stop talking about this issue. No, that's not how this works. And again, I'm telling you that this is exactly the kind of language that's being used about us right here in Southwest Florida. And it's not just here locally in some of the local outlets. I mean, I'm looking at Florida politics, and where was that article? And I'm trying to find it. And of course, the minute I need it is the minute I don't have it. But that's how things work. Okay, let me see if I can find it here. Nope, it's not here either. Okay, I'll find it. But Florida politics had a story about the Lee County School Board, and I believe it was Spencer Roach and others, even our Congressman Byron Donalds, writing a letter to the board saying, listen, Quality Florida and some of what you're telling us, the things in the school districts, not only here in Southwest Florida, not in just in Lee County, but Collier County, across school districts here in our area, that this is not the policies that our constituents, that the people here in the district want specifically for you to do. You're not listening to us. And because we have questions about whether boards are listening or not listening, we're told that we're just a bunch of bigots, that we don't, we're just homophobes, that we are every Istanobia in the book, because that's how they battle. They want you to feel uncomfortable, and that's not how this works. It's not who you are. They don't know who you are individually. I would like to know that they do, because then maybe they would understand the concerns that you have about how they're teaching your children. And here's something else that's very important, because, and we're going to get into some of the other issues with this specifically, and it's across the board, across the country. We're not the only district in the nation that's being, this talk is happening. And it's this. You're going to be told over and over again, that what is happening in the district, what you're being told, my voice, Believe me, people have called me out specifically. It's just lies. They're total lies. That it's distortions, it's lies about what the district is doing. It's funny because we're told that it's lies and distortions, but we're never told what the specifics are, and we're never told what the board members think specifically because, well, we don't want to do that. We don't want to go there and think what they, or hear what they think specifically or what their values are and maybe who they even voted in the last election, because a lot of times we're just assuming that they're, Republicans or conservatives because they're here in Southwest Florida, and the majority of individuals that are here and voting for people to put on the school board and how they want their kids to be taught, we assume that they are certain individuals when maybe they're not. But I'm even looking at a story in Wink News here about mass text sent urging people to oppose LGBTQ policies at school district. And at the bottom, it says, the district says there's a lot of misinformation going around about its current policies. Really? Well, maybe you should articulate what those policies are specifically. Maybe tonight at the school board meeting, you will. For example, LGBTQ education is not part of the classroom curriculum. Really, it's not. Now, hear me out specifically, because this is the insidious part of what is happening across the country, okay? And it's this. You don't have to teach a curriculum on anything. You don't have to teach a curriculum on LGBTQ education issues. You don't have to teach specific curriculums on civics the way we would like civics to be taught. You don't have to say specifically or the opposite. Like, we're concerned about how civics is being taught, 1619 Project, critical race theory, all of these things that we know are creeping into districts across the country. And you could say, well, we're not teaching a course on that. Well, here's the insidious part of it. And this is not every teacher. This is not every individual. But certainly it's time to call out schools and school districts, and even schools specifically. Because maybe you know of a school, maybe one that your kid is in right now, your child, and you've got problems with how your child is bringing work home from their school, and maybe the principal has been a problem. Maybe there is a teacher that's been a problem. Maybe it's about time we call it out, because the insidious part of this is very simple. They don't have to have a curriculum, because I already have seen with my own eyes, in my own neighborhood, with my own example, with my son and a friend of his who came home and was asking questions of her mother because the teacher in the classroom was teaching a class and was using a book that was describing a same-sex relationship when the child, the 9-year-old, had no clue about anything that had to do with same-sex relationships. Why would a teacher do that? The teachers will use books or curriculum in the classroom. They won't build a curriculum, but they'll use books or explain things and put that in to what they're teaching to the child, as if here's your opportunity to find out, because what I'm doing is I'm teaching you about math. And in my math class, I am using an example of a same-sex couple who is, and fill in the blank of how that's being used, and the child has no idea. They're not even concentrating on the math because they don't understand the whole same-sex issue. But listen, that's the reality. That's the culture, and that's where we are. And if a teacher is teaching that and using that example in the classroom, they don't have to have a full curriculum on how that works. Do you see what's happening here? They don't have to have a curriculum built on this. All they have to do is include it in what they are teaching and the texts or the textbooks or how they're teaching the class, as if this is what they believe, and they are passing that on to the child without the parent even ever having a say in what this discussion is. It just is there. That's the insidious part of this. So they could say all they want that there's no part of the classroom curriculum there is no a classroom curriculum that is that way. But if they're using books and texts and examples in math or science or anything else where they're including that as examples, well, why do you do that? Why do you have to do that? If you know it's divisive, why are you doing it? Because you don't think it's divisive. You think it's settled. You think there is nothing else to talk about with this issue, and you've made a conscious decision in the school to do this when you don't have to. right? Isn't that the bottom line here? There are places that we don't have to go in the classroom when it comes to teaching our kids. We don't have to. Right? You don't have to bring in religion. You don't have to bring in politics. You don't have to bring in any of it. It's very simple. There are places you can go if you consciously think about it, if you care enough about it, to just run down the middle. If you're looking and saying, this might be questionable, why I'm using this, maybe I should just stay away from being divisive unless you think that it's not divisive and your mind is made up. And as a teacher, as a principal, as a person, you've already made this decision for every child that's around you. It just is. And so that's how it works. So please don't tell us that it's not happening, because it is. And I have an example in my neighborhood that I told you about, where a 9-year-old friend of my son's came home a couple of months ago and asked mom, what's gay? Because it was used as an example in a class that was being taught. And she had no idea what gay meant and had to have it explained by the teacher to her. And then she went to her mother to ask what that meant. Is that right? Is that fair? Should that be your decision? Or is that really just the district? Listen, do us a favor. I'm going to hand you off my kid. In 18 years, just do me a favor. Make him a nice kid. Teach them how to clean their room. Do all of these things. I don't have time. Is that you? Well, if it's not you and you do care, then you should be at the Lee County School Board meeting tonight at 6 p.m. Get there a little early at the corner of Metro and Colonial in Fort Myers. And just like you did last time, have your voices heard. It makes a difference. It means something. And look, there will be people in the community that will show up there and well, they're not going to cuss you out, but they will call you every name in the book, as opposed to having the discussion about what this is and is not. Because that's their defense. Because in the left, that's their defense, is to demean you, is to make you seem like you're a bigot, you're a homophobe. This is what this is all about, when it's not. It's about the decisions that you get to make personally, as opposed to what they get to make for you. And behind the scenes, you can't be there 24/7. I mean, when you have lawmakers in certain states, I don't know if you heard this or not, but when you have people in certain states, here's a Democrat state representative in Texas, whose job used to be a teacher, who said this on the floor of the Texas House just a couple of days ago.
I want us all to be aware of is that modern science obviously recognizes that there are many more than 2 biological sexes. In fact, there are 6, which honestly, Representative Hefner surprised me too. With you now. Surprised me too, because I am not well versed in this issue area. I'm not a scientist. I'm a politician.
Yeah, and now he used to be a teacher. Did you know that there are 6 sexes? Did you have any? I mean, science has determined this, that there are 6. I had no idea. He had no idea. Nobody had any idea. Is that true? And again, not only is this a Democrat, the Texas Democrat representative, certainly not somebody here in Southwest Florida or somebody that's in Tallahassee, but they are a former teacher. He knows it. Do you know it? But don't worry, they're not being taught anything like this in schools. There's not one single individual like a teacher who is teaching to a class and because this is what they believe, are teaching to a class of 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, math, science, English, whatever the case may be, but using this belief as part of their curriculum and putting that in there. And the kid's like, I have to go home and ask mom because I don't even know what this is. Or maybe they don't say anything and they just run with it. All right, 239-479-5592. We'll talk to Matt Caldwell about this in detail, the meeting tonight at 8:05, so look forward to that. Also, here's another thing that I wanted to bring up as we get ready to go to break right now, and it's this. Bill Maher is making headlines again, and for some reason, somehow, we have conservatives, Republicans in this country who are just gushing over Bill Maher. It's like, is he coming around? Some of the things that he's saying are just unbelievable. Like, it's almost as if he's changing. He's now seeing our side. He's taking a different view of what's going on in the country. The problem is that you always take things out of context. Nobody ever puts anything in context. Maybe you don't, but others do. And so when you actually listen to the entirety of what he was saying when he brought up the fact that Gen Zs are crazy, they're gullible, their policies and the things that they're talking about, their love for communism is dangerous, it's bad. But he also said something else that I want to get into, because you may not hear this. I guarantee you that you're not going to hear it in its entirety. You don't have to hear the entirety, but maybe how the segment started. So we'll have that. Is Val Demings, Democrat representative to Congress, possibly another person that might run for governor in the state of Florida? Val Demings. Why do I say that? Do I have evidence? I don't know. I'm going to play some audio. Maybe put that out there as kind of a little, I don't know, something in the back of your mind. We'll talk about that coming up. 239-479-5592. DrewSteele.com is the website. We hope you'll watch. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This Fox News business report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The newest survey by the National Association for Business Economics predicts the accelerated COVID-19 vaccine rollout, along with the Biden administration's rescue aid policies, should help deliver a significant boost to the U.S. economy over the next year. But the Wall Street Journal reports markets for everything from home building materials to Bitcoin to stocks are soaring, stirring up fresh fears for some that global markets are in a bubble. Gasoline prices continue inching higher over the last 2 weeks, rising by 2 cents a gallon to a new national average of $2.96 per gallon. That's 78 cents more than 5 months ago and $1.03 more than a year ago. Rising ethanol and crude oil prices are the reason for the latest increase. No parades, no fireworks, and no hugs, but California's Disneyland reopens Friday after closing a year ago in the pandemic. Asian markets ended higher. U.S. stock futures mixed overnight. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Sal G. and Grasso, invested in you.
Finally, spring has arrived, and so have all new Untuckit styles. Check out our new wrinkle-free shirts that every guy needs as the weather warms up. And don't forget our famous polos, the official shirts of spring. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked and will look great as we get back to the things we've been missing, like dinner with friends, reuniting with family, going on vacations, and yes, even heading back to the office. Untuckit, shirts designed to be worn untucked. Use code TAKE20 for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com.
It's a hot afternoon, and you're listening to the news. And now, you're hot under the collar, too. I'm Matt from Island Air. When you choose an AC contractor, you're entrusting that company with the air that you and your family breathe. A healthy unit means a healthier household. Island Air has a long history in Southwest Florida and hundreds of customer reviews that you can see on our website at islandairfl.com, where you will see the Island Air difference. Want to try us out? Our $99 system saver one-time maintenance is guaranteed. If your AC breaks within 6 months of the maintenance, we will credit the payment towards any repair. Island Air also offers free second opinions. Let us review your quote for any service, replacement, or repair for your peace of mind.
IslandAirFL.com. That's IslandAIREFL.com. IslandAIREFL.com or call 239-645-4668. That's 239-645-4668. License number CAC 057544.
Virtue, morality, and religion. This is the armor, my friend, and this alone that renders us invincible. These are the words of Patrick Henry, the same patriot who said, "Give me liberty or give me death." I'm Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, board member of the American Constitutional Rights Union, and this is a Live Free Minute. The founders realized that tyrants want total obedience, and that means destroying or controlling the faith of their subjects. American Constitutional Rights Union defends religious liberty in the courts and in the public square. Recently, we have helped churches under attack by bureaucrats who have used COVID as an excuse to threaten closure. We ask you to join us in helping Americans stand up to tyrants, because without the right to practice our faith, we can't live free. This Live Free Minute is brought to you by the American Constitutional Rights Union, a national nonprofit based in Naples, Florida. If you'd like to support our work, visit livefreeminute.org.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
Hey, it's Jake Demings here from Daybreak to talk about AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue, a lot of you know about. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission that was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO Bonita Springs. 239-992-2626. 239-992-2626.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything going on.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along. More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along. This is 92.5 Fox News.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. The movie Nomadland wins the Academy Award for Best Picture. Its star Frances McDormand wins Best Actress. Chloe Zhao wins Best Director.
This is for anyone who has the faith and the courage to hold on to the goodness in themselves and to hold on to the goodness in each other, no matter how difficult it is to do that.
The Oscars on ABC. Best Actor is Anthony Hopkins. Best Supporting Actor and Actress are Daniel Kaluuya and Ye Jung-yoon. Thursday is President Biden's 100th day in office. We asked Americans how he's doing.
The poll puts President Biden's approval rating at 54%, 9 points higher than former President Trump at 100 days, but 8 points lower than Barack Obama, whom Biden served as vice president. 78% of Americans say they want to see President Biden succeed. That includes 60% of Republicans.
Fox's Gernal Scott. America's listening to Fox News.
Wink News. Traffic.
Good Monday morning. Our first crash of the morning coming in on McGregor Boulevard and Paloma Drive, just north of the back entrance to the Fort Myers Country Club. If you're heading that direction right now, just watch out for some delays nearby. We do have EMS heading out to the scene to check for injuries. Rest of McGregor looks good in and out of downtown Fort Myers and down toward College Parkway. Quiet commute on Colonial Boulevard as well this morning, in and out of Lehigh Acres, and on Daniels Parkway, not seeing any slowdowns. Collier and Charlotte County crash-free right now. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Monday, Southwest Florida. Factoring in some cooler and drier air this morning. In fact, most areas in the 60s, but I've even had a few inland spots into the upper 50s. Now, the same dry air that's keeping us mild this morning will allow for temperatures to peak in the upper 80s and lower 90s this afternoon. But hey, at least a lot of sunshine for your Monday. Now, we do factor in a chance of rain, but it doesn't come in till the second half of your work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
All right, folks, step right up. Step right up. You're not going to believe your ears. Today only I'm offering you air conditioning service for only $29. That's right. I'll send this cute little chimp dressed in overalls to check out your AC for just $29. That's not all, folks. With all the rebates and discounts of up to $5 quadrillion, you can get a super-duper system for next to nothing. I'll even throw in the magic UV light for free.
Don't be fooled by AC companies offering deals too good to be true. Kobe Cooling urges you to shop around before buying into the hype about government rebates and discounts. Kobe Cooling is an honest, family-owned business with NATE-trained and certified technicians, not clean and tuned salesmen. Kobe gives you a great product, professional, honest service at a fair price without all the sales pitches. Kobe Cooling, the most trusted name in the business since 1949. Call 482-1542, 482-1542, or go online to kobecooling.com. License number CAC 1813722.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
Hello, I'm a unicorn. Yes, one of those. Everyone's tried to find me, but most can't, unless there's ZipRecruiter. If you've hired before, you understand it's quite hard to find a unicorn. You know, someone who's perfect for your role. So how does ZipRecruiter do it so quickly? ZipRecruiter's technology matches your job up with the right people for your role and invites them to apply, so you get brilliant candidates fast.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later, because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Hodges Funeral Home at Naples Memorial Gardens. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment. We've got you covered.
When was the last time you ate at Spanky's? Hi, I'm Emily Monty, and my husband Ted and I invite you to dine with us for lunch or dinner on Naples' most enjoyable open-air waterfront patio or inside among hundreds of vintage antiques and memorabilia. Our variety of dining options ensures the comfort for all of our guests. Spanky's has been a Naples landmark for over 37 years. Whether you're looking for Naples' best prime rib or fresh seafood, Spanky's has something for everyone, offering the highest quality product at an exceptional value. Spanky's has daily lunch and dinner specials and early bird dining from 4 to 5:30. Dining is also available in our full bar while you enjoy daily happy hour. At Spanky's, we understand you have many local dining options. That's why it's our mission to provide you with our warm southern hospitality that keeps our customers coming back for years to come. Visit Spanky's today on Airport Pulling Road, just south of Golden Gate Parkway, Naples.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Gary, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
The first thing she told me was felony embezzlement.
So I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Actually, I had lived with the young man. This was over 20 years ago. And I'm thinking he went and got it and didn't take it back or something. I don't know. I have never watched that show in my entire life.
All right, so there's the story of a woman who's being charged with, are you ready for this? Felony embezzlement because she didn't return a VHS tape that was rented over 2 decades ago, 20 years ago for you Gen Zers out there. Karen McBride wanted for never returning Sabrina the Teenage Witch on VHS from 1999. She says it was somebody else that she was living with who must have rented the VHS and never returned it. So it wasn't her fault. It was the person that she was living with's fault. So there you go. Felony embezzlement for not returning a VHS tape that was rented over 2 decades ago, 20 years ago. From 1999, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I know what you're thinking. I know the first thing that comes to your mind right out of the gate. Who would rent Sabrina the Teenage Witch? What is this person thinking? Like, well, who was she hanging out with that she was doing that she was hanging out with a guy who wanted to rent Sabrina the Teenage Witch? That's the problem with the world today. The problem with the world today is that when we get into relationships, we're not learning about people. We're just not asking questions. That should be one of those dinner conversations when you're sitting down and you meet somebody for the first time. The first part of the conversation would be, "Hey, if you had to rent a movie, like, well, what would you rent?" And if the guy says, "I'm thinking Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's got good quality values. The witch thing is a little weird, but it's kind of fun and we laugh." You might be able to make a choice. I mean, if Jake, look, Jake is one of the most single guys you could think of. Handsome dude, successful. I'm just thinking that, would you bring that up? I mean, if Sabrina the Teenage Witch was one of your favorites, would you bring that up if you were in a dating situation?
Well,
as a millennial, would you do that?
It's important for anyone who would think about dating me to know that I do watch iCarly before I go to sleep. So,
iCarly.
Yeah.
I might worry about you if I had any clue what iCarly. What is
Hannah Montana sometimes. I go back.
You do Hannah Montana?
Sometimes, yeah.
Are you really?
If you want to know the truth, yeah.
Are you being
it's the
serious?
Best of both worlds, man.
I have no idea why you're single. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. By the way, here's a little funny aside. We're going to get to the Bill Maher story in just a second. By the way, a little tiny little aside in case you're wondering. We brought this up earlier. No big deal. Now that it comes to, we're talking about Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I think it was a Disney show, right? Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was I don't know what, who had the, Sabrina, was that just wasn't that one of the, was it a Disney or was it
I think it was
was it Nickelodeon or something like that? I don't know. And his favorite show, Hannah Montana, which was a Disney, right? Yeah. Speaking of Nickelodeon, Disney, and everything like this, look, if you're wondering, if you're just asking the question, let's say, Nickelodeon, a good place to drop my kids off in front of the TV, the little Utes, the baby Utes of America, where they're sitting there and, they're not really sure what's going on, and a good place to drop the Utes off, and they get a chance to see and hear all the things that are going on in the world, and they learn a thing or two, right? So here's a little nugget from Nickelodeon in case you missed this from last week, because there were kind of some people that were, scratching their head over this moment. The cable TV channel, aimed at kids, Nickelodeon. What are they teaching these days? Is it the best way to create slime so you can slime your friends? Wasn't that a big Nickelodeon thing? Sliming people, sliming friends, right? Green slime, wasn't there a show back in the day, Nickelodeon? They would, SpongeBob, SquarePants, the green slime, all this fun stuff that kids learn about, right?
Yeah, pretty much the entirety of Nickelodeon had to do with green slime.
Yeah, had to do with green slime, right? No big deal. So how are we doing now with Nickelodeon? Here's an example of Nickelodeon news, the news that your kids need. And they have a 1-hour special. And they wanted to let everybody know about what's going on in the world with the news, and a 1-hour special. And here's what you heard if you had your kids, the little Utes, the baby Utes, sitting in front of the TV. Here you go.
Black snow, the thick soot that pollutes Pahokee, Florida. There's Cancer Alley, which is an area along the Mississippi River in Louisiana that's lined with oil refineries. And air so toxic in New York's South Bronx that 20% of children have asthma. What do these cities have in common? They're all examples of environmental racism.
Excuse me? They're all examples of environmental racism.
A form of systemic racism.
A form of systemic race. I got an 8-year-old that's sitting and wants to see SpongeBob SquarePants with a squirrel-looking thing in the ocean dropping slime on people, and you're telling my kid about what?
A form of systemic racism.
All I want is the slime and the thing in the ocean with the sponge. That's
where minority and low-income communities are surrounded by health hazards because they live near sewage, mines, landfills, power stations, major roads.
It's environmental racism. Thought we were gonna SpongeBob SquarePants. Environmental racism. Is that how that goes? Is there a line in the song that we're missing? So there you go. So no big deal. Nothing to see here. It's just Nickelodeon who's teaching your kids about environmental racism and systemic racism, which apparently is everywhere. It's in police departments. It's in your kids' SpongeBob SquarePants cereal. It's every place, everybody. But nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Let's go arrest a lady in Oklahoma who's 20 years behind on her Sabrina and the Teenage Witch video from 1999. That's who we need to go after. All right. 239-479-5592. No big deal. So Bill Maher is getting cheers and attaboys from some people because of some of the things that he said over the weekend. Now, I'm not sure whether or not the audience, the Bill Maher audience, is looking at this and listening to what he's saying and think to themselves, well, this is good. He's right. As a matter of fact, if you listen to the audience, you hear a lot of quiet, hush. You don't hear a lot of cheering. It's almost as if his audience isn't sure to agree with Bill Maher or disagree with Bill Maher. He did a segment over the weekend. And again, where a lot of conservatives, Republicans are putting it up on social media and it's like, yay, Bill Maher, he's awesome. But what did he say? He's talking about Gen Zers, and maybe you know a Gen Zer or two, and even millennials about politics. So listen to the segment. This is the middle, or actually near the end of the segment that he did. Check this out.
You know the reason why advertisers in this country love the 18 to 34 demographic? Because it's the most gullible. Yeah. A third of people under 35 say they're in favor of abolishing the police, not defunding, but doing away with a police force altogether, which is less of a policy position and more of a leg tattoo.
It sounds like a very uncomfortable liberal audience there who just heard that. So now you're listening, it's like, whoa, go, Bill Maher.
36% of millennials think it might be a good idea to try communism. But much of the world did try it. I know millennials think that doesn't count because they weren't alive when it happened. But it did happen. And there are people around who remember it. Pining for communism is like pining for Betamax or MySpace.
Do you hear the uncomfortable laughter in the background? You have an audience of leftists who are listening to Bill Maher talking, and it's like, well, wait a minute, that's me. It doesn't sound very comfortable. He's making his audience sound uncomfortable. We're listening and going, he's right. He's exactly right, isn't he?
So when you say, you're old, you don't get it, get what? Abolish the police and the border patrol and capitalism and cancel Lincoln? No, I get it. The problem isn't that I don't get what you're saying or that I'm old. The problem is that your ideas are stupid.
Now, how about that? An audience applauding the ideas are stupid. Your ideas are just dumb, right?
If you say, let's eat in the bathroom and in the kitchen, yeah, that's a new idea. But I wouldn't call it interior design. You think someone 80 is hopeless because they can't use an iPhone? Maybe the one who's hopeless is the one who can't stop using it.
Oh, that's hitting home, right? 80s, you're yelling at 80-year-olds saying you can't use an iPhone. You're not smart enough to use an iPhone. Maybe you're the problem because you can't get off of it.
You think I'm out of it because I'm not on Twitch? Well, maybe I get Twitch, but I just think people watching other people play video games is a waste of time.
Did you just say, oh, smack? Were you just listening and we're like, oh, that just hit home for Jake? Because Jake, since you're watching Twitch all the time to watch other people playing video games.
And what's the difference in somebody sitting down for an entire day and binge watching an entire season of an episode? Or like, what's the difference?
It hits.
At least I'm using hand-eye coordination. I'm problem solving. There's a bunch of things that's going on at one time.
Okay, see, it hit home. He's mad now. I didn't say it. Bill Maher said it. All right, and let him finish out with this.
20% of Gen Z agree with the statement, society would be better off if all property was owned by the public and managed by the government. And another 29% say they don't know if that's a good idea. Here's who does know. Anyone who wasn't born yesterday.
And there's the end of the segment. And people are like, and conservatives and Republicans are like, this is genius. To see Bill Maher, he's coming around. Talking about Gen Zers and talking about how they don't understand and millennials, communism. Stop with the nonsense of communism. Communism kills. It's a bad way to go. And all of the getting rid of capitalism, which really progressives want to do, is get rid of capitalism, right? And so this isn't a bad idea. Why are you doing this? This is dumb. You people are dumb. You're saying all these things. All you're doing is sitting around watching other people playing video games. You're wasting our time. This is the generation that has no idea. And I'm trying to explain it. Okay. Before you start jumping on the Bill Maher is awesome bandwagon, let's remember how he started the segment. I guarantee you, I'm going to guarantee you something today. Are you ready for a guarantee today, Jake? Here's a guarantee from Drew Steele, 92.5 Fox News, Daybreak. Are you ready for a guarantee?
Is it pizza?
No. Here is my guarantee. My guarantee is that the Bill Maher statement you just heard, what you just listened to, will be played on other programs, whether it's this station or others, or even Fox News. It will be played a bunch of times. You will hear Beck talk about it. You'll hear Hannity talk. You'll hear all kinds of people talking about it. I guarantee you. But here's what you won't hear. I guarantee you won't hear the first part. Because where Bill Maher was quick to talk about how awful Gen Z is and how half of millennials want communism and a third of the Gen Zs love the idea of all of these crazy policies that are dangerous to the country, right? A third of people under 35 say they're in favor of abolishing the police. 36% of millennials think it might be a good idea to try communism, and how he's mocking it. Let's remember what he said at the beginning of the segment, and I guarantee you nobody else is going to play this but me. Listen to what he said to open the segment.
And finally, new rule 3 months into his presidency. It's time to admit that Joe Biden has been a huge disappointment to comedians. All the jokes we were stockpiling about ancient, doddering, sleepy Joe, useless. The man has been nothing short of sharp, focused, and completely on top of things.
Excuse me? He's been what?
We were expecting a font of comedy gold about a senile geezer showing up to work in his pajama bottoms and plowing his motorcade into a farmer's market. Forget the dog, he was going to bite someone on the South Lawn. But a funny thing happened on the way to the old age home. Biden slayed the orange dragon and is now spearheading the most transformative administration since FDR, with an approval rating of 59%.
And this is what you all miss. Where conservatives and Republicans are going to jump on the second part of the first part of what I just played and say, Bill Maher, isn't it genius what he's saying? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it awesome? They forget to play the first part. Because where Bill Maher is trying to make the case that you millennials, you Gen Zers are a bunch of dopes because you want to abolish police. You're a bunch of dopes because you think it might be a good idea to try communism. Have you been listening to what Joe Biden says? Have you been listening to what this administration says and what they are doing? And at the one moment where you think that Bill Maher is being loosened, he's actually saying something that's important, you forget to play the first part of it where he's describing somebody that doesn't exist on this planet, a Joe Biden who's coherent. Everybody, even the left in this country, understands that Joe Biden is not coherent. Who is debating this? Nobody is debating this. Are they really? Are you serious that he's the most, like he's sharp as a tack?
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
And this is where you lose credibility. This is where he loses credibility, because where people are quick to start saying, oh, listen to all the things that he's talking about, he's right. He's promoting the administration that is making Gen Zs and millennials believe the crap that he's saying is bad. They're the ones that are, this administration is the one that is saying, talking about defunding police departments, saying the most awful things about systemic racism. Where do you think the idea of abolishing the police comes from? It comes from the idea that all police departments are systemically racist, where if you actually looked at the numbers and the data, you would come to find out that that's not even close to being the case, but we're not allowed to go there. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I'm just telling you, you just heard something this morning that I guarantee you're not going to hear from others who will talk about this same thing when it comes to Bill Maher. Unless they're listening to me. Then you know they're listening to me, because this, to me, is the important part, which is the hypocrisy. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Lee County School Board meeting tonight. Listen, your voices still need to be heard. It's where you have the power, which is locally. People listen when you show up in mass like you did last school board meeting. You do it again tonight. You will see changes being made in areas where you think you don't have a say, you do. So we'll have that coming up. And also, why is it that Vice President Harris is talking with Dana Bash on CNN and they are about 2 football fields away from each other? Aren't they both vaccinated? Why are they 2 football fields away from each other in the in this interview that's going on? Well, there's that and some of what she said as well coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Rush Limbaugh.
Toronto. There was an op-ed in the Washington paper, The Hill, and it raised a question. Why New York City loses more residents than any other city? Now, according to libertarian author Kirsten Tate, 270 New Yorkers abandon the city every day. Taxes play a major role. New York City residents have the highest tax burden in the country. Now, Democrat Mayor de Blasio brags that he wants to tax the hell out of the rich. Democrat Governor Andrew Cuomo, the brother of Fredo, has made it even worse. So a lot of residents are crying uncle, since they can't fully deduct their state and local taxes anymore because of Trump's tax reform. They are escaping to lower tax states like Florida and Texas. It's also about quality of life. After years of declining crime, thanks to mayors like Giuliani, violent crime is rising again. The cops are afraid to make arrests. It's predictable. City schools are failing. 200 schools need serious reform, according to the Department of Education. And then there's the staggering cost of living. Rents and real estate prices are at an all-time high. So they're leaving. But you know what they're doing? They're going to other states, and they're taking everything that destroyed New York with them. They're not learning anything. And we're paying the price when these people come and infect our states. I would prefer they stay in New York and keep the destruction local.
Hello, I'm a unicorn. Yes, one of those. Everyone's trying to find me, but most can't, unless they're ZipRecruiter. If you've hired before, you understand it's quite hard to find a unicorn. You know, someone who's perfect for your role, but somehow ZipRecruiter manages to do it fast. Talk about magical. And right now, you can go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. ZipRecruiter's technology finds candidates with the right experience, like me, and actively invites them to apply to your job. ZipRecruiter knows you want more than just great resumes. You want brilliant people who can help your business shine. That's why they make hiring these people easy. But I'm just a majestic unicorn. Don't take my word for it. Listen to him.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine you're on your way to work and then bam, your whole life changes. You're injured and now you have to fight for justice. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Keeping your home and business cool is a struggle, but now you can be the insider on how it all works and how to keep it running when the heat is on. Join Matt and Justin from Island Air right here on Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. for the Island Air Hour, providing quick and effective solutions for commercial and residential air conditioning and heating systems. If you have a question about your system, you can call us right now at 239-747-1550, and we'll be glad to help. Serving Southwest Florida since 1972.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Unless you want more of your hard-earned dollars going to the government, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Now, the president's tax cuts, they may be on the way out, and it's not just your income taxes that could go up. That's why you should call my friend Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group. Call now, 239-747-1163.
Investment advisory services offered through Townsend Advisory Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor in Florida.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. I'm the president of New South Window Solutions. What I'd like people to understand about our company is what's unique about us. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. We go out of our way to make it easy. If you're thinking about buying new windows, consider New South. And don't even think about hiring a middleman until you see what our factory can do for you. New South windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers.
Going on now, save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Call 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Rob McDaniel here, the second generation of Kenmark Air. Kenmark Air is celebrating 25 years professional, honest, and top-rated service in Southwest Florida. To celebrate, Kenmark Air has its own branded air conditioning system, the K. McDaniel Series, named after our father, Ken McDaniel. The K. McDaniel Series is a completely coated outside system with storm protection, and for a limited time, we're offering 25% off qualifying high-efficient K. McDaniel systems. Call today for a free in-home estimate, 239-437-7040, and online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
And the Oscar goes to Nomadland. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We thank the Academy and we thank our brilliant fellow nominees.
Chloe Zhao won Best Director, and Nomadland was also Best Picture, and Frances McDormand won Best Actress. There was a surprise, though, for Best Actor. Anthony Hopkins for The Father. Many expected the late Chadwick Boseman to win. At a show honoring films most of us didn't see in theaters closed by the pandemic, and the Academy Awards show wasn't too theatrical on ABC.
There were no fun musical performances, very few lighthearted moments, and not a lot of people saw the movies that were up for these awards. So I can't imagine this being a very memorable show for most people who are watching.
Fox's Carly Shimkus. President Biden's 100th day in office will be later this week. A Fox News poll judges how he's done so far.
The poll puts President Biden's approval rating at 54%, 9 points higher than former President Trump at 100 days, but 8 points lower than Barack Obama, whom Biden served as vice president. On COVID, 52% now say the virus is somewhat under control, compared to the 50% in December that said it wasn't at all.
That's Fox's Gernal Scott. The president is offering U.S. help to India dealing with a record coronavirus surge. Now, as more Americans get vaccine shots and then travel, there's a destination that'll be back open again later this summer. Fox's Simon Owen explains live from London.
Dave, it looks like Americans may be able to travel to Europe by the summer if they've been vaccinated against COVID-19. EU EU President Ursula von der Leyen told the New York Times the EU's 27 countries would accept anyone who's had their shots, providing those shots are also approved in Europe. As things stand, that is the case for all 3 vaccines used in the US. The EU says that's the intention. It's promising more details in the weeks ahead.
America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News traffic.
Good Monday morning. Couple of crashes in Lee County. One at McGregor Boulevard, really slowing down traffic in both directions. South of Bremen Avenue, the crash itself is at Paloma Drive, so watch out for some delays and possible injuries in that crash as EMS are out there responding. Another crash just north of Daniels Parkway at Palomino Lane and Danforth Lakes Boulevard. No roadblock, it looks like right now, and no injuries in that crash. 75 and 41, nice and quiet for your main highway drives across the area. And Collier and Charlotte counties both crash and incident-free. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Monday, Southwest Florida. Factoring in some cooler and drier air this morning. In fact, most areas in the 60s, but I've even had a few inland spots into the upper 50s. Now, the same dry air that's keeping us mild this morning will allow for temperatures to peak in the upper 80s and lower 90s this afternoon. But hey, at least a lot of sunshine for your Monday. Now, we do factor in a chance of rain, but it doesn't come in till the second half of your work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Where do designers store their clients' furniture when doing an estate home remodel? Rice's Moving and Transport in Naples, with over 10,000 square feet of air-conditioned storage space. Designers use Rice's Moving and Transport for one reason: trust. They know Rice's Moving team will pad wrap and inspect all articles carefully, then securely store them. Contractors use Rice's during a remodel to store customers' personal items too. Upon completion, everything is then returned to your home, completely unpacked and carefully reassembled. Another important point to consider when selecting a mover is this: only a handful of moving companies actually follow all the laws. Many moving companies simply pay employees in cash. This creates an issue for you as they are not insured. If there's an accident, you're responsible. So if you're planning a whole home or condo remodel or need help moving and storing your treasured furniture and valuables, trust Rice's Moving and Transport, fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan with some good news from the factory. We've just been authorized to add all brands to the list of vehicles eligible for our trade-in offer. Yep, literally all brands qualify now. So if your 9-year-old Beamer just hit 100,000 miles, don't cry. Stop paying for expensive repairs and premium gas for that old gas-guzzling luxury brand you're driving. As long as it's a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, bring it to Naples Nissan to get the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new, fuel-efficient Nissan today. Whatever your trade-in was worth when it was brand new, even if you didn't buy it new, regardless of where you bought it from, and regardless of what brand it is, that's what we'll give you for it. Get full details at naplesnissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
The real estate market is really hot right now, but for how long? I'm Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. You've heard Drew Steele talk about me on his show. If you're thinking about selling your home for a premium price, now is the time. You can sell over market value without doing repairs, letting strangers in your home, and you pick the closing date. Learn how for free. No pressure, no obligation. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. GomesMovesHomes.com.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list, and in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
It's Rockstar Harley's Triple Zero event. 0 cash down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until fall on any new Harley this week. Annual percentage rates such as 1.99% and no payments until fall on any new Harley at Rockstar Harley. Triple Zero event now through Sunday.
On approved credit.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website in case you want to watch. We always appreciate that. A reminder that tonight, again, we have the Lee County School Board meeting, 6 p.m. tonight. Get there a little early. All you concerned parents who were there for the last meeting, I would encourage you to show up today. And listen, if you do not have a child in the school district, that's okay, because this is an important moment here in Southwest Florida and an important moment in politics here, because this is how you make change. If you're saying to yourself, I don't know what to do, I've been frustrated with national elections, local elections, state elections, I've been frustrated because I feel like my voice isn't heard, this is how it starts. This is where you begin the process. You begin the process of getting involved in all the issues that are happening by showing up, being there. And if you're concerned about what has happened with the Lee County School Board, which is interesting how it's been talked about in local media. I was just looking at Wink News and they were just doing a story on how it's going to be another big meeting tonight. And, you know, both sides being heard and the Equality Florida issue being put into the code of conduct, you know, talking about the gender, the bathrooms being available to those who want to use the bathroom of their choice based on their gender identity, the transgender sports issue, which is a part of this as well, the idea that you have to identify specific students based on their gender identity. So you have to use proper pronouns. The question is, what happens if a teacher doesn't? Is there some kind of discipline involved? All of this as part of the code of conduct. And again, don't miss the lead here. I know that there are people that are going to try to make it about something else, but it's very simple. Don't miss the lead. The Lee County School Board allowed Equality Florida to put this poster, the poster that was put up all around schools. We're told, even in the media, local media, well, this has been a year. This has been part of the code of conduct for a year, as if everybody knew it. There were people on the school board who didn't even know that it was in there. Do you understand that when you put something in and then you claim that it was read into the record, that everybody knew that the Equality Florida issue was in there because it was read out loud to people who were watching on Zoom meetings during a pandemic, who really were not, because there was a lot of other things going on, like life or death situations in a pandemic, and maybe they didn't have a chance to see it. And those that do always show up and get involved were watching and heard about the Equality Florida possibly being in there in the code of conduct, but it was never read out loud to parents, to individuals, to hear what that said and meant, and then it was signed off on. That's a problem. That's the political aspect of this. That is a school board who were told, and I'm watching the Wink News story that just came out, where they were just doing the reporting, and it said one of the school board members, was it Mary Fisher who was on the school board? Is that who said that from now on we're gonna do our? The quote was from Wink News was doing their homework and reading every little bit of the wording. Now from now on, they're gonna do their homework. What were you doing before? Are you suggesting that you weren't reading everything that was in it? Are you suggesting that you weren't read up on what was happening? It's one of two things. Either you were completely read up on it and you did it anyway, which means you need to go, or you didn't read up on it and you just passed it without reading up on it and doing your homework, which means you need to go. That goes for everybody. Or maybe I'm off base. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely off base. And another thing you need to realize, don't miss this either. This is so important in this issue, and we're going to move on. But this is important for the meeting tonight. All you concerned parents, all you concerned grandparents, people in the community who don't like a school board telling you what they're going to do, and then you just sit there and don't worry about it. Like you don't have a say. For all of you who are concerned politically that you voted for somebody believing that they were putting forward, and when it comes to curriculum and when it comes to the way your kids and grandkids are being taught in our schools, that you voted for them because you believe that they had your values, and now you come to find out that they don't. And showing up means something. Don't miss the lead here as well, which is this. They're going to call you every name in the book. There are people out there, they're going to say you're bigots. They're going to call you every name. I'm not kidding, because here's the story. Lee County lawmakers pressure school board to restrict transgender bathroom access. Okay, nobody's pressuring. So what we're doing is we're saying, listen, if you're transgender, you're just going to have to hold it for 8 hours. Nobody's saying that. Don't make it ridiculous. Again, there's always accommodations. Oh, that's what the school board's doing, Drew. What's the problem? Every district, there's we will go on a case-by-case basis, and we'll figure out what they want to do with the amount of transgender students that we have, or the LGBTQ community, and what bathroom that they want to use. We'll make it on an individual case-by-case basis. All right, awesome. What if there's somebody who says, no, I'm using the girls' bathroom. I'm a transgender. I'm a boy. I'm transgender, and I want to use the girls' bathroom. Like the one that everybody else uses. What happens then? These things have to be answered. And again, when you go to the Florida politics story that says Lee County lawmakers pressure school board to restrict transgender bathroom access, and they're talking about Spencer Roach, and in this story specifically Spencer Roach, who they're quoting, who they did the story on, and then you go down in the story as they're talking about those who signed on to it locally. Co-signed by all but one member of the Lee County legislative delegation. So everybody except Senator Kathleen Pasadomo signed off on this. And when you go into the article, and then you get to this part of the article, so please spare us when you say that I'm being hyperbolic. I'm not being hyperbolic. Because in the article, this is what it says. Transgender activists already express concerns with local school districts empowered by the sports bill debate and the recent passage of a parental bill of rights. We're going to talk about that coming up at 7:35. Some very important information you need to know. Will prompt county districts to implement their own exclusive policies. Lakey Love of the Florida Coalition for Transgender Liberation, didn't know there was one, but there is, said Lee County may serve as an example. And here's Lakey Love's quote. Quote, Lee County had bigoted constituents showing up at a school board meeting complaining about objectionable materials. That threatens safe spaces for LGBTQIA students. It's not me. Again, this isn't hyperbolic from me. This is their quotes, their words. You're bigoted for showing up and not agreeing with the Equality Florida policies that were put in the Code of Conduct. Even though you didn't have a chance to hear about it and know it was there and express your concerns about it, and the board, who apparently didn't read up and do their homework, as one school board member said, but they'll start doing it now in the future, didn't know that it was in there, didn't read up on it, then what are you doing? And allowing it to pass through, and then not reading through what the Equality Florida issue was specifically, so that people who were watching on the Zoom meeting that was taking place last year had no idea what it even said. That's not how this works. And this is one of many issues that people have had over the years with the board. And that's why you just got to clean house. You need people that you know have your values and understand that they'll push back. When people say things like, well, you're going to get sued, the district's going to get sued, these are the kind of things that we can't do here, because no, then push back. We're telling you that there are things that you can push back on, and you can push back on this. You have the majority of the people who voted for you give you the permission to go ahead and push back on this. Because there's too much out there that people are not sure about, and you haven't defined specifically as school board members where you stand. But what does that mean? Here's a simple example. And it happened over the weekend. CBS News did this story, and they had, who was it on there? I'm trying to remember who the person was. Let me find out who the person was so I'm sure to quote this properly. But over the weekend, they were talking about the transgender issue where there are states signing bills banning trans athletes from women's sports. And you have a former U.S. soccer player who was on with CBS over the weekend, and they were talking about this very issue. And remember something. This is what? Lori Lindsay, who's a soccer broadcaster and a former player. And if you're wondering how hyperbolic this gets, like we're not allowed to talk about the issues that we have on our side. It's all about you being a bigot or a homophobe or whatever the case may be. It's the language that the left uses to attack you, to go after you because they want you to go away. And if you're saying I'm being hyperbolic, you tell me. Listen to this conversation.
The governor of Kansas called the transgender sports bill in her state unnecessary and discriminatory. Supporters, though, insist that it's protecting women's sports or girls' sports. What do you see as the core motivation, really, behind these laws?
What's the core motivation? There are people that agree with the signing and the passage of bills like this because they don't want to destroy women's sports. We've seen it time and time again. For years, we've seen stories about transgender girls winning everything in girls' sports. And we all know why. We all know why. We're not allowed to say it, but we all know why. So what do you think is behind it? Lori Lindsay, former soccer player, U.S. team, I guess, soccer player, current soccer broadcaster, somebody that is broadcasting constantly to those young that are watching that love soccer, to older people that love soccer that are listening to these broadcasts. What does she think? What's behind this? Like, why would people do this? What do you think their motivation is? What's their thinking?
Well, in general, I think there's just a tremendous amount of misinformation about trans youth in general. And then to your point, Lana, the fact that, these bills do uphold white supremacy under the guise of...
Stop. What?
White supremacy.
So the reason why you bigoted individual, you homophobe, you who has a problem with boys playing in girls' sports and transgender girls playing in sports because you don't want to destroy women's sports because you understand that there are daughters out there who have been working incredibly hard at their craft, at their sport, so that they could get scholarships to go to colleges of their choice, the work that they put into only to be taken away by a transgender who comes into the sport and ruins the competition. I don't know, am I allowed to say that? Again, are we allowed to talk about this specifically? No, because Lori Lindsay wants everybody to know that the reason why and the motivation why you're doing it is because...
these bills do uphold white supremacy under the guise of protecting women's sport, when we actually know that women's sport, protection of it would be to have more funding, have more women in leadership positions.
That's all it is. It just need more money and more women in leadership position. That's what it is. If you just did that, everything would be fine. And if you're doing it in any other way, you're a white supremacist. There comes a time when this just becomes noise, right? You can't keep saying that because we disagree with your view and we have a specific example of scientifically and data why we disagree with you, whether it's abolishing police departments, systemic racism, the issue of transgenders and playing transgender in sports and the protection of women's sports. And your answer can't be where racist, bigots, homophobes, that's not good enough. You need to have something backed up that suggests that what you're saying is provable, and you don't, and you can't. And you can't continue to call us these names and assume that we're just going to back off because we don't like being called names, because soon it becomes wallpaper. Your white supremacist talk becomes wallpaper. All of this means nothing because we know why you're doing it. And listen, you're toughening the skins of individuals who have science and data, who understand that there's no reason for the vice president of the United States to be 2 football fields away from Dana Bash on CNN doing an interview over this weekend because you're both vaccinated. The science and the data is clear. You can't give us a visual. And Joe Biden, during his climate summit, the only person out of 18 countries there that were represented that had a mask on during a Zoom meeting. That's the fact, Jack. You can't do that and us look at and say, what is wrong with you? You can't do that. And you can't keep calling us these things. And you can't say things like you have to abolish police departments because of systemic racism. And you can't keep using systemic racism and everything is racist without backing it up with data, with facts. And we have the other side of this, which are the facts that say otherwise. Again, we're going to talk about Parents' Bill of Rights coming up and get into the details there coming up in just a minute. We're going to talk more about the Lee County School Board and this issue and showing up tonight and how important it is. But don't miss this. Don't miss this. This is so important. People are hearing you. Your voices are being heard. When you show up the way you did last school board meeting, which hopefully I pray that you will show up again to have these members of the school board hear your voice and articulate what you feel. Understanding that they work for you, they work for us, they are elected officials, they work for us. That when you do this, this is the first step of showing people, not only here locally, but statewide and nationally, that we know how this works. We know how this starts. And we know how change is made. And this is how you make it. By showing up, voicing your opinion, backing it up with the facts, and not being afraid of all the ridiculous names that are being thrown at you like you're just going to go away because somebody's throwing a name at you. It's wrong. It's wrong on a lot of levels. You want to talk about it? We'll talk. You got data to prove what you're saying? Prove it. You don't have to call us every name in the book to try to scare us away. 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
With the Diamond District, you get the best of both worlds. Jason and Todd are wholesale diamond brokers selling to the public and jewelry stores across the country at wholesale prices. The Diamond District is also a retail store that you can visit every day and see the largest selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hello, I'm a unicorn. Yes, one of those. Everyone's trying to find me, but most can't, unless they're ZipRecruiter. If you've hired before, you understand it's quite hard to find a unicorn. You know, someone who's perfect for your role. So how does ZipRecruiter do it so quickly? ZipRecruiter's technology matches your job up with the right people for your role and invites them to apply, so you get brilliant candidates fast.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place, but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort? Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Visit Accurate Comfort Services online at AccurateComfortServices.com today. License number CMC 057023.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau. You can count on us for great service. You can count on us to get it done. You can count on us for a price that's fair, and quality is second to none. For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
This is an urgent message to all Lee County residents. The Lee County School District has adopted radically progressive gender policies, encouraging boys and girls' bathrooms and girls in the boys' locker room. Posters have gone up across Lee County schools, telling our children they can use the bathroom of their choice regardless of their biological gender. The Lee County School Board quietly approved these radical policies with little to no public input. Now it's time to be heard. The Lee County School Board is holding a public workshop Monday, April 26th at 6 p.m. to discuss their gender identity policy for next year. If you want this policy repealed, now is the time to be heard. Attend the school board meeting Monday, April 26th at 6 p.m. and tell them you do not want boys and girls sharing locker rooms and bathrooms, or call the school board at 239-334-1102 and tell them to end this policy. Sponsored by Families for Freedom and Fairness, 1375 Jackson Street, Suite 202, Fort Myers, Florida.
Look and feel your best with Dr. Patrick Flaherty, hosted by me, Gina Birch. Want to hear the latest from an expert? Tune in Saturday at 10 a.m. and hear all the latest innovations in non-surgical, surgical, and lifestyle ideas to help you look and feel your best. Dr. Patrick Flaherty is known for his faces, the fabulous Azul Spa, and now you get your hour with this doctor every Saturday at 10 a.m. Dr. Patrick Flaherty's show is Look and Feel Your Best, hosted by me, Gina Birch. Tune in this Saturday at 10 a.m. and hear how to look and feel your best.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. You know the real estate market's really hot right now, but for how long? Well, nobody really knows. If people don't catch up on their mortgage payments because of COVID, the market's going to get flooded with foreclosure inventory, and that's scary because your home's value could plummet. So if you thought about selling your home for a premium price, now's the time to do it. But you don't want to make any costly mistakes. That's why you need to get with Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. See, he's been buying, selling, brokering, and investing in real estate for over 20 years. Mistakes in real estate can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Anthony wrote a book on how to sell homes, your home, and for the most money. And he wants to ship it to you for free. Just go to GomesMovesHomes.com and tell him where you want to send it. Inside, you'll gain 20 years of secrets from wealthy home sellers on how you can sell for a premium price without doing repairs, letting strangers go through your home, and you could pick the closing date. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. Again, GomesMovesHomes.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. Doing payroll is no longer a headache for our customer, Jeff.
I've used various payroll providers in the past, and none can hold a candle to Patriot Software. Their software is ridiculously easy to use. The support staff is knowledgeable and courteous. I am very excited that Patriot Software files my tax forms for me, not just providing the forms like other payroll companies do. As a business owner, managing payroll has been a long-time headache that I no longer struggle with thanks to Patriot Software. I definitely rate your company 5 out of 5 stars.
Go to PatriotSoftware.com to get your payroll pricing for up to 100 employees. Use promo code XM and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
From smartphones and TVs to desktops, laptops, and tablets.
Every audio device in this hemisphere.
All you have to do is tell your smart device to play 92.5 Fox News.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The Biden administration announces plans to help India deal with its surge of coronavirus cases.
With Indian hospitals swamped, President Biden has pledged to send raw materials for vaccines, medical equipment, and protective gear. For a 5th day in a row, India has set a new world record for COVID infections, adding more than 352,000 cases in 24 hours. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the country has been shaken by a storm. His critics say he's mishandled the crisis.
Fox's Simon Owen. The Oscar for Best Picture goes to Nomadland. Also winning, it's director Chloe Zhao and star Frances McDormand for Best Actress.
I like work. Thank you for knowing that. And thanks for this.
The Academy Awards on ABC. Anthony Hopkins wins Best Actor for The Father. Best Supporting Actor goes to Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. Ye Jung-yoon wins Best Supporting Actress for Minari. America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
Good Monday morning. Tracking a couple of crashes in Lee County, one at Palomino Lane and Danforth Lakes Boulevard, just north of Daniels. No roadblock, no injuries there, but major slowdowns on McGregor Boulevard in both directions, north of Colonial, south of Bremen because of a crash we're watching in the area right off of Paloma Drive and McGregor Boulevard. So watch especially for some northbound delays in the area. Looking clear if you're getting ready to head out on I-75 and US 41. And we are crash and incident free in Collier and Charlotte County. Looking good on Alligator Alley as well, heading toward the East Coast this morning. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Monday, Southwest Florida. Factoring in some cooler and drier air this morning. In fact, most areas in the 60s, but I've even had a few inland spots into the upper 50s. Now, the same dry air that's keeping us mild this morning will allow for temperatures to peak in the upper 80s and lower 90s this afternoon. But hey, at least a lot of sunshine for your Monday. Now, we do factor in a chance of rain, but it doesn't come in till the second half of your work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Brad McDaniel here, the second generation of Kenmark Air. Kenmark Air is celebrating 25 years of professional, honest, and top-rated service in Southwest Florida. To celebrate, Kenmark Air has its own branded air conditioning system, the K. McDaniel Series, named after our father, Ken McDaniel. The K. McDaniel Series is a completely coated outside system with storm protection, and for a limited time, we're offering 25% off qualifying high-efficient K. McDaniel systems. Call today for a free in-home estimate, 239-437-7040, and online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
This is Greg, owner of Tropical Generator. And when I started my generator business 17 years ago, I made it a priority to focus on reliability. Generators are a lot like fire extinguishers. Hopefully, you never have to use it. But when you do, it better perform flawlessly. There are a lot of competitors out there whose only goal is to separate you from your money. Whether the generator actually performs in an emergency, well, that's not really a concern. Instead of taking a big risk on a cheap fire extinguisher, call Tropical Generator today for a reliable generator system. I offer you 17 years of experience doing expert generator installations, a 4-year degree in electrical engineering, and the highest level Florida licenses in electrical and gas contracting. I also live in Fort Myers and have personally selected and trained every one of our employees. At Tropical Generator, we're big enough to help and small enough to care. Call today, 239-206-4509 or tropicalgenerator.com. That's 239-206-4509 or on the web at tropicalgenerator.com. License EC 13007873.
People say they don't like going to the dentist, but what they mean is they don't like the discomfort. Dr. Alan Rembos at smilesbyrembos.com understands. Dr. Rembos uses computerized anesthetic delivery, resulting in 50% fewer injections. And Dr. Rembos places and restores implants, eliminating delays, additional costs, and no running around. New patients and emergencies usually seen within 24 hours. Cosmetic treatment often completed in 1 to 2 weeks. Read the reviews at smilesbyrembos.com. Offices in Marco, Naples, Sanibel, and Fort Myers.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America.
NCH Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
It's a tailgate party on game day. It's a welcome to the neighborhood. It's another anniversary of the start of something good.
It's sharing bluebell ice cream as the evening sun goes down. The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Thanks for watching. In just a second, we're going to have Rick Stevens joining us from Florida Citizens Alliance. We're going to talk about not only the Hope Scholarship, but also we're going to talk about the Parental Bill of Rights here in the state of Florida and what that means if it was signed by the governor, and a lot to get into. But before I get to that, I just want to let you know that it's starting to get a little creepy with Dr. Fauci and the cult of Fauci, as a lot of people are saying it. You know, it's up to Dr. Fauci to decide what we do in our lives, liberties, freedoms, the things that you love and enjoy. We have to go to the Fauci to find out what it is that we can and can't do. Masking, unmasking, vax works, they don't. 15 days to stop the 30-day spread, and we're a year and a half later, and hey, we're not really sure. Here's how creepy it's getting. In case you're wondering, it has reached a brand new creep level, as in New York, they wanted to let everybody know that you got to vaccinate. Come on, New York, it's time to vaccinate. So what did they do? They literally had someone on the street singing a song, a Fauci song. I'm not kidding.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines. Help all the people who have been quarantined. We'll wear our masks and we'll have to stay distant. We'll wash our hands and we'll be...
I can't do it. I can't do it. It goes on for another 20 seconds, and I just can't do it. So the creep factor is now up to 11. If you're a Spinal Tap person, you understand, these go to 11. Yeah, we are now at 11 when it comes to... Jake is like, are you okay? Are you, you look like you're going to be physically sick after hearing that. I'm worried about you. Are you all right? That was...
My face hurts.
Yeah, well,
easily.
Is it from the laughing, or is it from the mask wearing? Like the kids in schools that have to continuously wear masks. 8 hours a day, however many hours a day that the kids have to wear masks, because it's a known fact that the masks is the way to go in our public schools, and they have to continue to wear them. Said nobody, because that's not what the science says. But the Fauci is, oh, come on, hey, but that's enough. It's not a joke. I mean, it's really not a joke. It's
not a joke.
No, it's a joke. All right, but no, that's serious. They really did that to promote vaccinating New York. Not sure if that promoted, scared people away. I don't know. It depends. All right, 239-479-5592. Let's go to Rick Stevens. He's holding patiently, and he had to listen to all of that. And so as he's waiting on hold, and that's just an awful thing that I put him through. Rick, first of all, I'm sorry I put you through that. That really was not called for.
It really was something else, though. I mean, what else can you do these days?
Yeah, we're not sure what else you can do right now, but that's okay. First of all, Florida Citizens Alliance doing just great work, continuing to watch out for our kids' education, what's happening in our schools. Just want to make sure that our connection is good. So I wanted to bring you on to talk about the Parental Bill of Rights. So for those that don't know a lot about it, describe to people what it is.
Well, the Parents' Bill of Rights is probably the single most valuable piece of legislation that we've seen go through the Florida House and Senate in recent years, because it says to all the Florida government agencies, the parents are in charge of their children's upbringing, and you need to respect their responsibilities and their authority to take care of their children and not infringe on their rights. It is very proactive in the statements it makes, defending parents' involvement in their children's education, medical issues, and other things. It simply says to the government, hands off my kids. They're my responsibility, and I will take care of them.
Right. Now, this was something that was discussed in years past, too, right? I mean, this is not the first time that this came up. What's different about this time, this go-around, as opposed to where we were, say, last year or the year before?
Well, what's different is it passed.
Okay.
I don't think there's a huge difference.
All right. Well, there you go.
You talk about outrageous. Why did it take 3 years to get this passed?
Right.
I mean, we were almost there last year. I better not call him the way I'd like to call him. Senator in the Florida Senate killed it because he was upset about something else that he didn't get when he wanted his way. But this has taken 3 years. We have a lot of confidence the governor will sign this. It shouldn't even be necessary because we as a people, we all know that parents have responsibilities that we should respect. But here we are, and we have a lot to be grateful for that the Florida House and Senate passed it. And we should give a shout out to our Senator Ray Rodriguez, because he's the guy that carried it in the Senate and he got it across the finish line. And it's a great day when that passed. It really was.
So now there are people that are arguing, Rick, about what this could mean to certain individuals. Obviously, you're going to have people on the left that are going to demagogue this thing. They're going to make it, they're going to throw all kinds of hyperbolic statements. It's an outrage. For example, we're told that the LGBTQ community is upset about this because parents will be able to find out records that have to do with their kids, medical records. They're from the district. But they have that now, do they not? I mean, is it so much different now than it was when this bill passed? What's the difference there? What's the problem?
Well, people don't realize that school districts hide information from parents. I know you've talked a lot about, and we don't need to veer off into that, but this business in Lee County with the transgender stuff, and it's happening in other school districts, but districts hide from the parents. If the child comes to school and says that they want to identify as this today, the districts don't automatically notify the parents. They have built into some of their systems a way to hide that information from parents, and we think that's outrageous. This bill says not so fast. No more hiding from the parents. You've got to be proactive in promoting parents' involvement in their child's education, and we're going to stand for nothing less. It's really significant.
Yeah, now, and you bring up the issue, obviously, the Lee County School Board getting together tonight at 6 p.m., where there are going to be a whole lot of concerned citizens, not just parents of kids that are in school, but certainly grandparents and others who have elected officials to do the will of the people as opposed to top down, which we're told now, I guess, is the case. It's what we do, and that's the end of it. No, that's not how it works. But even with the issue of, for example, the Hope Scholarship, I know that's something that you wanted to talk about, because this kind of what's happening with the districts and what we're hearing about today also does have something to do with the Hope Scholarship. I think people should understand what that is all about as well. Kind of explain in detail what that is.
Well, the Hope Scholarship is one of the best pieces of legislation for helping parents get their children in an educational environment that's well suited for them. It started out being called the bullying bill, and that was a good way to describe it as it went through the legislative process. But it's really much more expansive than what we think of as playground bullying. It involves any activity that's a threat, harassment, intimidation. It says from as simple a thing as a child, I mean, it's not that simple, steals another child's lunch money, to any incident that demeans the child that the parents interpret and understand as being harassing, threatening, intimidating. They can go to the principal, report the incident to the principal, and the principal fills out a very simple form. In fact, the parents can take it mostly filled out with them when they go to that meeting. It's very easy to get that. It's available on our website, libertyscholar.org. It's available on the Florida Department of Education website. It's very transparent, very easy. It's not a hard form to fill out. People don't like forms. I don't like them either. But this one's easy. They take that to the principal, report the incident. The principal signs the form, indicate that it has been reported, and that qualifies the parent for that Hope Scholarship. Now, the principal does have an obligation under the law to investigate the incident, but that's because they may have to report that up the line to the Florida Department of Education. They do not and have no authority to investigate the incident to see if your child qualifies. If this happened to your child and you are concerned about it, that's qualification enough for the Hope Scholarship. And it's really that simple. We've coached a number of people. Just late last week, I coached a mother from Collier County through the process, and she has in her hand today the Hope Scholarship notification form that she can submit for her child's Hope Scholarship next year. And this is the time to take care of that, because next year is a perfect transition time. When your child is going into a new grade, it makes it a lot easier to go to a new school. And if you're concerned, if you've been having issues, if your child has been exposed to the poster, to the code of conduct in Lee County, that is a qualifying incident, because if you believe that's threatening to your child or intimidating to your child or harassing to your child, that's all it takes. Go and report it. The scholarship is yours. And there's, I overstate this, millions of dollars available to parents under the Hope Scholarship. We highly recommend it.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that a little more coming up. We don't have the best of connections, but that's okay. Rick Stevens joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. By the way, for those that might want to get more information about the Hope Scholarship, maybe about education choices here in Southwest Florida, where you are, if you're thinking about that, give me some resources. Where are some places that they can go, Rick, to find out more?
We have a website that the Florida Citizens Alliance developed called libertyscholar.org. libertyscholar.org. Many resources there, videos to coach people through the idea of, can I homeschool my child? Many sources on the Hope Scholarship, answer all of your questions right there. Many opportunities that are really simple that you can join, that are supportive of homeschooling, but you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. It's remarkable what has developed in recent years. And any parent, I think it's pretty to say any parent can find help for their child on some of the resources we've got there, from the Hope Scholarship to the Florida or the Family, which is being expanded greatly under recently passed legislation. It's just remarkable what parents have access to today. There's no reason for a parent to feel trapped in the school situation where their child is now. And there are so many opportunities available.
Yeah, so give me the website one more time.
It's libertyscholar.org.
libertyscholar.org. Okay, great. All right, Rick, listen, we've got to run. I appreciate a few minutes and great work as always, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? All the best. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Drew.
Okay.
Bye.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Yeah, and a reminder, of course, that tonight we're going to be, listen, this is where you have an opportunity for your voice to be heard at the Lee County School Board. The 6 p.m. meeting, get there a little early, because I'm sure just like last time, we'll have a whole lot of folks that want to have their voices heard. And look, this is just the beginning of where we need to be moving forward. And when we talk about the 22 election and the 24 election, and you're sitting and you don't know what to do and you're not sure how your voice can be heard, it's about showing up. And if you show up, this is how it starts. And this is the political move that has to be made as well when we're talking about a lot of issues that are coming up. Keeping an eye on individuals, vetting candidates, making sure they are who they say they are, understanding that policies are changed and crafted by the way individuals specifically feel about politics. And that's something that when Matt Caldwell joins us at 8:05, we're going to talk about as well. And I think it's an important aspect of what we have here politically. You know, where, for example, the governor signs the anti-rioting bill, goes into law. We know exactly what it is and what it is not. It's an anti-rioting bill. We don't want riots. We don't want these quote-unquote protests to be labeled as protests when they're actually rioting. We know the difference. You all know the difference. Even you on the left, you know the difference between what is and is not a protest. But yet now we're told by the AP that the Broward County deputies have been told by the sheriff's office not to enforce the anti-riot law. The agency's executive director of law enforcement emailed district captains Wednesday to say that the anti-rioting law threatened to diminish the sheriff's office attempts to connect with the community. They don't want any overzealous deputies utilizing the new law to conduct enforcement that could violate people's civil liberties. Well, that's quite the straw man. So you're already making the assumption that that's going to happen. Why would you do that? The so-called anti-riot law that DeSantis signed, that's not the words of the sheriff's department. That's the word of the AP. The so-called anti-riot law. You don't get to do that. I'm sorry. But they're trying. It was a response to a nationwide demonstration that occurred in the wake of George Floyd's murder. Most of the protests against racial injustice were peaceful, but some turned violent. Again, this is the way that people are talking about this. And you have to recognize it that, again, when it comes to the politics of the day, you know the difference between a riot and a protest. There are those politically that look at it and say, it's Governor DeSantis. He signed this into law. We don't like this governor. We want him out of office. Politically, we dislike him. And so we will do things in our department that could harm and could hurt the safety and security of the people in our district because politics. And you don't think that that could be something that could happen at different levels of elected officials, whether it's school boards or county commissions or the like? Don't tell us that politics don't play. They do. They do. All right, here's something that you should be happy and excited about. Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. Why? Why would you be excited about this? Well, not only because you get to play Drew's College and have a little fun with us right now. The 9th caller at 239-479-5592 right now will win. We've got $50 gift card for you to Mel's Diner. 5 area locations to dine in or take out. Great food. We love Mel's Diner. The food is fantastic. 5 locations around Southwest Florida. $50 gift card for you. Call in number 9 right now at 239-479-5592. You will play Drew's College up next on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along, drewsteele.com, the website, if you want to watch. Steele has 3 E's. Sabrina Katz is, Therese O'Shea. Sorry, Therese O'Shea has traffic.
Good Monday morning. Tracking a couple of crashes in Lee County, one at Palomino Lane and Danforth Lakes Boulevard, just north of Daniels. No roadblock, no injuries there, but major slowdowns on McGregor Boulevard in both directions, north of Colonial, south of Bremen because of a crash we're watching in the area right off of Paloma Drive and McGregor Boulevard. So watch especially for some northbound delays in the area. Looking clear if you're getting ready to head out on I-75 and US 41. And we are crash and incident free in Collier and Charlotte County. Looking good on Alligator Alley as well, heading toward the East Coast this morning. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Monday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off on the cooler and drier side this morning with temps largely in the 60s, but we canceled that this afternoon as most of you will reach 90 degrees under a mostly sunny sky. And while today will be a good day to get outside, some small changes in terms of rain come in by the late half of the week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Pandemic, market drops, elections. Don't let the noise and fear distract you. Where do you go for clarity in uncertain times? I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's financial planner. For experience, advice on planning for retirement, visit savingtheinvestor.com.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Kelly. Kelly's in Cape Coral. Kelly, Cape Coral, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. Are you ready to impress your friends and family?
I hope so.
Absolutely no pressure, Kelly. Here we go. Kelly, can you name the 2 senators we have here from the great state of Florida, their names?
Oh, boy. No, I'm sorry. We just moved here. I'm sorry.
Oh, you just moved? Oh, Jake, that's not a fair question to people that just moved here.
No, it's fair.
No, it's okay.
I don't want to guess because I don't
right,
want people to get upset.
Where did you move from?
Saratoga Springs, New York.
Oh, from New York. Do you know who the governor is?
Upstate.
Yeah, do you know who the governor of New York is? The one that...
Yes.
Yeah, what's his name?
Cuomo.
Yeah, that's
Andrew
correct.
Cuomo.
Okay. Can we give her the associates for that one? No, Jake, no. You don't get, no. You didn't get the, okay. All right, let's go for associate's degree for this question. George Washington, the first president of the United States. The second president was?
The second president was Adams.
That's correct. That was painful for you. All right. You got it.
I'm like struggling.
No, you're doing good. You're not struggling. It's early. You got a associate's. Let's see if you get a bachelor's on this question. When was the Constitution written? The Constitution was written in 1787, 1790, or 1794.
1794.
No, it was 1787 it was written. 1787. That's all right. It was multiple choice and it's early. And I was going to say you're from New York, but that's not nice. That's not nice. All right.
Hey, I take it. I'll take it.
Okay. So let's do a bachelor's degree on this question. I'm trying. Let's see. I was going to ask you that one, but I don't know if I should or not. All right. I'll just ask you this anyway. During World War I, who was the president of the United States during World War I? Do you want multiple choice? I'll give you multiple choice.
The way it started.
Was it FDR? Was it Woodrow Wilson? Or was it Theodore Roosevelt? Was it one of the two Roosevelts or was it Woodrow Wilson?
It's one of the Roosevelts.
It was Woodrow Wilson. Was World War I?
Oh my God! Wow, I'm rough this morning.
It's the upstate. It's the Saratoga Springs. It's the air in upstate New York. It's just not as clean as it used to be.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's why we left.
Did you know there's a lake that's next to Syracuse that's the third most polluted lake in the country?
I do. I was a rower, and when we were rowing in it, they told us not to touch the water.
Yeah. Funny story that I tell people that I'll just tell you right now because it's fun, is that when I went up to Syracuse once, I was with a musical artist that I was promoting, and we were touring around the country for the year, and I was in Syracuse, and the limo driver was driving us back to the airport, and he said, "See that lake?" I said, "Yeah, it's beautiful." He said, "That's the third most polluted lake in the country." I said, "Oh, well, that's something to be known for." There you go. A little, and that's all I know about Syracuse. All right. Well, congratulations. You got a $50 gift card to Mel's Diner for just doing what you just did. And you got some kind of degree. But listen, you had fun, right? And that's what it's all about.
I did have fun. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Well, don't hang up. Stay there.
No, I am.
Okay, good.
I'm here.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly from Cape Coral. Just moved here from New York. All right, when we come back, Matt Caldwell is going to join us. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, some of what's happening with the Lee County School Board, and a whole lot more that's going on. Stay where you are.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
You find yourself searching for a reputable air conditioning company?
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
I'm Crystal Casey with Brett Air Conditioning. For over 45 years, our motto has been, "Don't sweat, call Brett." We are a family-owned business with a great reputation. Whether your AC needs maintained, serviced, or replaced, we are here to serve you. So stop searching and join the Brett Air family today. You can find us online at brettairconditioning.com or call us at 239-566-3633. 239-566-3633.
If you don't love your AC company, call Brett Air right now. Find them online at brettairconditioning.com or like them on Facebook.
Don't sweat. Call Brett.
License number CAC 1819995.
Hits to India.
Hey, America.
Ventilators and
We
personal
need to have
protective
a little
equipment.
talk.
Will seek to deploy oxygen supplies as well. The U.S. also intends to pay for an expansion of manufacturing capability for India's vaccine makers so it can ramp up and produce at least 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines by the end of next year. India is second only to the U.S. in total COVID infections with overrun hospitals. Dave.
Tanya, Vice President Harris will address the UN today on preparing for the next possible global pandemic. She's also in charge of dealing with the migrant surge at the border. Harris tells CNN State of the Union Trump policies led to this situation.
Under the previous administration, they pulled out, essentially, a lot of what had been the continuum of work. And it essentially came to a standstill.
Republicans blame President Biden for undoing those policies, and the president does not do well on that issue in a new Fox poll.
With 34% approving and 52% disapproving there. Now, with a 46 to 15% margin, voters say that U.S. border security is worse today than it was 2 years ago.
Fox's David Spunt. Overall, the Biden approval rating is at 54%, about 9 points better than Donald Trump at this point in his first year. They handed out the Oscars last night on ABC for movies most of us could not go to theaters to see. Nomadland won big.
And we thank all the hearts and hands that come together to make this movie.
It was Best Picture, and Chloe Zhao also won Best Director. Frances McDormand got Best Actress. The Best Actor Academy Award went to Anthony Hopkins for The Father. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's Terry.
News and talk station 92.5 Fox News.
Wink News traffic.
Good Monday morning. Tracking a couple of crashes in Lee County, one at Palomino Lane and Danforth Lakes Boulevard, just north of Daniels. No roadblock, no injuries there, but major slowdowns on McGregor Boulevard in both directions, north of Colonial, south of Bremen because of a crash we're watching in the area right off of Paloma Drive and McGregor Boulevard. So watch especially for some northbound delays in the area. Looking clear if you're getting ready to head out on I-75 and US 41, and we are crash and incident-free in Collier and Charlotte County. Looking good on Alligator Alley as well, heading toward the East Coast this morning. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Monday, Southwest Florida. Factoring in some cooler and drier air this morning. In fact, most areas in the 60s, but I've even had a few inland spots into the upper 50s. Now, the same dry air that's keeping us mild this morning will allow for temperatures to peak in the upper 80s and lower 90s this afternoon. But hey, at least a lot of sunshine for your Monday. Now, we do factor in a chance of rain, but it doesn't come in till the second half of your work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
I won't give up the ship.
Talking about what matters.
This country is too great to throw over to communism. I love it.
92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
Dial star 2020. Friends, I care.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. Cataract surgery these days is so radically different, it's amazing. France Eye Care is offering what's called a lifestyle lens. It's called that for a reason. Maybe you need vision correction for near, far, in-between distances. Maybe night driving is your issue. Well, maybe you need an extended depth of focus, or even the ability to adjust the power of your lens after cataract surgery. That's how amazing this is. Do not leave something as important as your vision to the rookies. Trust Dr. Jonathan France and his team of expert surgeons at France Eye Care to guide you through the process of choosing the right solution for your eyes. Give them a call today. Just dial star 2020 on your mobile, or give them a shout at 239-418-0999.
Friends, I care.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and want out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939. 800-501-3939.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire with TriFound with the TriFound Financial Team. Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retire with TriFound, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon. Insurance products offered through TriFound Financial, LLC.
When you need a new roof, it pays to deal with the best. King Roofing has built their business on a solid foundation of honest appraisals, fair pricing, and the finest workmanship. Your insurance may be paying the bills, but you'll live with your choice of roofer for years, even decades to come. Choose Roofing Royalty, and you'll never regret it. In Southwest Florida, there's only one King. Call King Roofing today.
Every castle deserves a king.
Plantation Shutters for You is your best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Call today for a free consultation. Discount to military, first responders, and Biden voters who wish they voted for Trump now, as well as Trump voters. PlantationShuttersForYou.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Campbell here, serial entrepreneur. I started my first business in the basement of a factory over 30 years ago. We had no heat and no air conditioning. Instead of customers, our office visitors were rats, birds, flies, and snakes. Our office flooded often, and we used blankets as our office walls. We were broke and needed help. That's why I created Patriot Software, to help small business owners with simple payroll for 1 to 100 employees. And if you need help, we will help you for free. Go to PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code XM and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. We always appreciate you watching. We certainly do appreciate you making this program the start of your day. Thank you so much for doing that. In just a second, Matt Caldwell's going to join us. We're going to talk about tonight, the Lee County School Board, another big night. You don't want to miss it. Oh, here's something that's always fun. They're talking about Joe Biden. Did you know Joe Biden right now has a huge approval rating? It's just amazing. His 53% approval rating. It is just absolutely fantastic. Is it really? Well, it is the lowest of any modern president beside Ford and Trump. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but I have to play this. This is great. So it's the lowest of any modern president. 53% approval rating is not a good place to be at this moment in time in your tenure there in the White House. But Chuck Todd has the perfect spin on this. Here you go.
Things looked like they weren't going to go well. He took over, and things seemed to smooth out. Some might argue they always would have, but it doesn't matter. It's on his watch. And that has given him political capital, Willie, because in our numbers here, you see that is driving the overall positive approval ratings he has. And anytime you're over 50 in this polarized environment, that's really solid. It's sort of the new 60%.
53 is the new 60. Because, that's the new thing now. Matt Caldwell, that's the new thing. Put him up. Go ahead, Matt Caldwell joining us. See, that's how people always say, 40 is the new 20 and 60 is the new 40 and 80 is the new 60. Well, 53% approval rating is now the new 60. See, that's how that works. We can do anything and say anything we want. And oh, by the way, if you remember where Donald Trump was at this point in his presidency and the reason why he had a lower approval rating may have been for the fact that they were bashing him nonstop. He was in a league with Putin at the time, but that's nothing, Matt Caldwell. That's okay. How are you this morning? Sorry.
I'm doing great. I didn't realize Chuck Todd spent his quarantine studying up on Common Core math and figuring out how to 53 is the new 60. Okay.
That's what it is. If that's what they say, that's how life goes now, Matt Caldwell. It's just like, by the way, you get a little fun there. That's what it is now. Just so everybody knows, it is how you phrase it. It's how the left does it. It's how they're phrasing everything. And I might even make the case, as we spin into a different topic here, I might make the case that there are people that are going to hear Just like 53% is the new 60, which seems ridiculous. But if you're trying to make a point, that's what you say. I might make the case, Matt Caldwell, that for the people that want to show up tonight at the Lee County School Board and want their voices heard, people in this town who are tired of it, who are sick and tired of people who you elect telling you what to do and how they're going to do things, as opposed to the bottom up where we tell you what we want done. I might make this the case that you're going to hear a lot of people saying things, and I've already read about it, that people showing up are just bigots. You're a bunch of bigots. You're a bunch of homophobes. That's your problem. That's the language. And not to be afraid, not to let that language bother you in the way that people are approaching this, because they're worried about people speaking out. They're worried about the decisions that have been made. I don't know if you heard about that, but Florida Politics was bringing that up. It was quite an amazing quote by someone.
Yeah, you had the article come out over the weekend quoting the Equality Florida representatives and particularly a state rep out of Orlando, Carlos Guillermo Smith, who basically called the House Republican Caucus in Tallahassee and all the legislators in our delegation here who signed a letter on Friday to the school board denouncing the policy and requesting that they repeal it, in addition to Congressman Byron Donalds doing the same. So note that, Drew, that the entire political representation at the state and federal level that lives here in Lee County is on record in writing that the school board has screwed up and needs to correct it. But that was described as hate, as you said, as bigotry, and it's nothing is further from the truth. And you and I know that. But when we talk about tonight, when we talk about getting ready for tonight, what we need to continue to lean into is the fact that this decision was made without real parental involvement. And that's the biggest scandal here. Look, we know liberals infect the school system. We know that the bureaucracy downtown is the tail that wags the dog in this school district. That's been the case for years, and that's the perpetual fight we have trying to get board members who will stand up to the bureaucracy and represent the people at large. But the real scandal is that nobody knew this had happened. The teachers in the classroom, by and large, didn't know this had been adopted. The parents in our school district did not know this had been adopted. It was done at the height of the COVID lockdown on a Zoom meeting in a less than 30-second click through the PowerPoint slide and don't even take time to talk about the incredibly monumental decision that was being made by the school district. And somebody needs to be held accountable for that. And I don't think that's just, the superintendent deciding not to renew his contract that was already set to be expiring in June. This didn't just come from him. This came from within the upper echelons of the administration and thinking that those same people in the bureaucracy are going to give us a different result in the next year and the year after that is foolishness.
Yeah.
We know they're just waiting for us to disappear,
right?
And then they'll be back to work the same way they've been doing.
Yep. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by that. Don't be fooled by people trying to make others the scapegoats. Don't do it. Don't think that just because a superintendent is going away, that the issue is going to go away and everything is fine. When Wink News themselves this morning, the reporter for Wink News said on the air that it was Mary Fisher who was saying, we're going to do better. We're going to be doing our homework and reading every little bit of the wording from now. What were you doing before? Apparently, according to Wink News, that was her quote. What were you doing before? The assumption is two things, Matt Caldwell. Either you weren't reading anything before and you weren't going over some of these policies and everything that was in the code of conduct, in which case you need to go, or you did know and you voted for it anyway against the will of who was here in the district, and also without letting them know specifically what was in it and reading it into a public record so that people can hear it specifically, in which case you need to go. But again, I bring up this article from Florida Politics so everybody understands. There's a couple of things going on here, and I just want to emphasize this before we get back to it, and it's this. Lakey Love of the Florida Coalition for Transgender Liberation said Lee County could serve as an example of what could possibly be happening in county districts implementing their own exclusive policies, where Lakey Love said, quote, Lee County had bigoted constituents showing up at a school board meeting complaining about objectionable materials that threatens the safe spaces for LGBTQIA students. So there, don't tell us that it's not being said. You're being called all kinds of names. Don't let the names bother you. Don't let these accusations bother you. It comes down to what Matt talked about and not being there and present and hearing about this specifically, about the reading of what was in the code of conduct, number one. And number two, this isn't about hate. You go there tonight, you be respectful, you be polite. There's no reason to be hateful. This is not about hate against anybody, any group, anyone. Because we don't put people in groups anyway. But besides the point that that's not what this is, but they want to make it about this, Matt.
Well, they do. And listen, this goes back to some really fundamental conversations we've had over the years. We recognize the problem with public education. The public education system exists to educate our children at our behest. This is nothing more. It should not be anything more than that old idea of, the local town hires the school marm to come in and teach that one-room schoolhouse with the 15 kids in town. But that teacher was absolutely going to be following the wishes and the cultural perspective and the ideas and the values of that community. And what we have instead today, particularly in these large, massive bureaucratic organizations, 95,000 students, that's one of the largest school districts in America. They are not serving the best interests of the majority of this community. They don't care, frankly, at its core, what the parents' values are, what the cultural implications are, what the decisions are for how we want to raise our kids. They're serving their own agenda, their own ends. Sometimes that's going to be the same, and many times it's not going to be the same because they're serving a larger master. And that's where we've talked about, what ultimately is the consequence for this. If we don't adopt this radical policy, if we don't go along with where the most left-leaning progressive ideals in the country are at, well, the worst thing that can happen is that the federal government doesn't send us money for education, which, by the way, is unconstitutional, illegal anyway, and how outrageous that we've already moved past that conversation and just taken it for granted. But that's the only outcome. The only bad outcome is that we don't get federal funding because we don't follow whatever the latest woke dictates are out of Washington, D.C. And I think this community has clearly made the case that they will support the real education of their kids and will do so financially if it is on us to have to do it ourselves.
Right. Don't be afraid to push back. Don't be afraid of it. Don't say you can't do it. Illegally, we can't. Yeah, you can. Push back. Let's see what happens. Let's do it. Let's find out unless it is about the money, which in that case is really insidious. Which, speaking of insidious, let me just remind everybody how this works as well, and maybe you can confirm this. And I would say that you probably know, and I've heard from many, 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 many people. I've been getting a ton of emails from people who are concerned about principals at their schools, teachers in their schools that are pushing agendas, pushing things where we are told that, no, Matt Caldwell, there are no curriculum here on LGBT. We're not teaching anything of the sort. It was, as a matter of fact, an article locally that was talking at the district. It was Wink News that had an article. The district says there's a lot of misinformation going on around its current policies. For example, LGBTQ education is not part of the classroom curriculum. Well, here's what's insidious, and I'll make this case, and this is where I think it hits home. It doesn't have to be. Because if you have a left-leaning teacher or a principal in a school who politically believes that Donald Trump is evil, Orange Man bad, that Governor DeSantis is evil and bad, and anything that comes out of his Department of Education is not good, and somebody who believes in their heart of hearts that there's nothing to see here. I believe in educating and what I believe politically, ideologically speaking. That don't think that that's going to be excluded from the classroom. Because again, like the example that I gave last week about a 9-year-old in my neighborhood who my son talked about, who came home and said, "Mommy, what is gay?" and didn't know what it meant because the textbook that they were using and the example in the math class was using a gay couple, and the teacher said, "Don't this," and tried to explain it to the 9-year-old who still didn't know because it wasn't discussed in their house. This is the part that you have to recognize, right, Matt?
Well, 100%, and it's completely disingenuous for the school district to convey that there's not some adopted curriculum. That you can't have, on the one hand, a scenario where we repealed Common Core, we repealed the top-down administration where bureaucrats tell our teachers what to teach, and instead say, we're going to expect teachers to be professionals. We're going to expect them to develop their curriculum based upon the standards that we expect. We expect that in third grade, you're going to hit a certain level of math competency, that by the time you graduate high school, you're going to have a basic understanding of civics. And then we empower professionals, just like we do in any other business, in any other industry, in any other profession, to come up with ways to teach that. Now, that is the way that we should be teaching. We should be empowering teachers to not be robots teaching out of a curriculum book and just whatever Pearson happens to publish this year, well, that's what gets taught in the classroom. But the other side of that is exactly your point. That means that the teachers do have the freedom to teach whatever they want. And what do you think the message is for those teachers that you just described, the ones who have an agenda and who want to push this on people? Well, there's a poster, there's a policy, it's been adopted by the school district. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into my education, the education that I teach in my classroom. And this, it gets back to my point just a second ago, Drew. You can't have these competing philosophies. We are either going to have a school district that is centered around the relationship between the parents and the kids and their teachers and their principals, where these schools are reflective of what the values and positions and perspectives of the community are, or you're going to have a giant bureaucracy that is one part pernicious in its attempts to try to push liberal left-leaning agendas into the classroom, and then the other part is totally incompetent at doing it. That's the other part that's, again, back to the scandal, Drew. You had teachers, the majority of teachers in this district didn't know this was the policy. Yep. That means that every single one of those teachers, if they dealt with a child contrary to what the policy says, they were liable, legally liable, because of what the school board had adopted here and how abysmally they failed to convey to the teachers what the expectations are in the classroom. If your employer has a policy and doesn't inform you what the policy is, and then you do something contrary to it, the legal ramifications for the thousands of teachers in this district were extraordinary. This is a failure on multiple levels that has to be addressed, and we can't let them off the hook for any one of these points.
Right. And again, the important part of this is, when I brought that up before, you don't have to do this, Matt. You can take the politics out of teaching our kids. You can take the ideology that you have out of teaching. You don't have to do this. There was no reason for the teacher to do that, other than the fact that ideologically speaking, that they wanted to present this as something that a 9-year-old should just get used to. It's the culture. It's the way it is. This is life, without a parent even understanding or knowing that it's happening. It doesn't have to be that way. Common sense would dictate you don't have to do this. It's a choice. It's a conscious choice that a teacher would make. And it's not every single one. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not an indictment on everybody, but don't make it sound like politics are in everything. Don't make it sound like they don't creep into these different areas. But all right, we got to take a break. I might want you to hold on, because I might want to talk about this after the break, because we have a ton of people that are calling that want to talk about this. But tonight, talk about, again, being at the school board tonight. What time, what's going on, everything else. Go.
6 o'clock at the school board headquarters. This is their meeting to consider the new code of conduct. They have already indicated they're going to repeal the poster, but they haven't made it clear what they're going to repeal in terms of the actual policies. That makes it more dangerous, because now it's not an obvious poster that's an affront to our values. It's now little words and little pieces of each part of the code of conduct where they're going to try to sneak it in. You need to make clear what your perspectives are and how you want the board members to reflect and vote for the values of this community, not kowtow to the bureaucracy and the feds.
And showing up tonight is the beginning of the political movement that's here in Southwest Florida that we need across the country, which is getting involved locally, being here. You don't have to have a child in the district to speak out on this. This is how politics work. This is how you make and you move mountains, is by showing up and doing this. And this is going to be for anything and everything that's coming up politically in the next couple of years, 18 months. We've got a big election, 22 and 24. This is how it begins. So don't let some of the words that are being thrown out about you, you're some kind of Ister-obia or bigot. Don't listen to that. Your voice needs to be heard. And that's a lot of what's going to be thrown around in the future as well. And listen, a difference is going to be made. All right, well, stick around. Let's take a break. And we got the top 5 audio clips coming up. We got a whole lot on the way next. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I just want to say I love America because everyone gets a voice.
This is 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
Hi, doctor.
So how are you feeling?
With Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, be seen by your Millennium healthcare provider in the comfort of your home from your computer, smartphone, or tablet.
So good to see you.
Call your Millennium doctor's office or 844-CALL-MPG to request a virtual visit with the care team who knows you best.
I'll talk to you soon.
Millennium's telehealth service, MPG Connect. Your doctor, your device, your connection to a healthier life.
Hey, it's True Steel, and we've got my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And Dave, I got to tell you, the selection of floor coverings of Floor Meisters, unbelievable, fantastic. I've seen it myself, and the choices are there. But what we really want to talk about today is this Dreamweaver line of carpets. Talk about it.
I'll tell you what, Drew, this is the hottest thing since 5-buckle overshoes. We're just selling the heck out of it. Comes in 9 different patterns, 12 colors to a pattern. It has 8 warranties, and it even includes steps. The stain warranty will take care of wine, mud, and even pet accidents. So this is perfect for Jake.
Yeah, perfect for Jake, and perfect for me, and perfect for you, too. If you haven't been to the Floor Meisters, really owe it to yourself to visit their store, see their selection of Dreamweaver carpets. It's there at 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco. Now, whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, or hardwood flooring, they have it all. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Unless you want more of your hard-earned dollars going to the government, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Now, the president's tax cuts, they may be on the way out, and it's not just your income taxes that could go up. That's why you should call my friend Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group. Call now, 239-747-1163.
Investment advisory services offered through Townsend Advisory Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor in Florida.
Plantation Shutters for You is your best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Call today for a free consultation. Discount to military, first responders, and Biden voters who wish they voted for Trump now, as well as Trump voters. PlantationShuttersForYou.com.
At FPL, we're always looking the future straight in the eye. When the future said cut back on foreign oil, we made way for clean, American-made natural gas. And when the future said we need more clean energy, we said, how about 30 million solar panels by 2030? And when it said we need zero carbon emissions, we said, okay, how about green hydrogen? That's energy made from water. We're planning, preparing, and investing because Florida deserves an energy future we can depend on. See how at fpl.com/value.
This is an urgent message to all Lee County residents. The Lee County School District has adopted radically progressive gender policies, encouraging boys and girls' bathrooms and girls in the boys' locker room. Posters have gone up across Lee County schools, telling our children they can use the bathroom of their choice regardless of their biological gender. The Lee County School Board quietly approved these radical policies with little to no public input. Now it's time to be heard. The Lee County School Board is holding a public workshop Monday, April 26th at 6 p.m. to discuss their gender identity policy for next year. If you want this policy repealed, now is the time to be heard. Attend the school board meeting Monday, April 26th at 6 p.m. and tell them you do not want boys and girls sharing locker rooms and bathrooms, or call the school board at 239-334-1102 and tell them to end this policy. Sponsored by Families for Freedom and Fairness, 1375 Jackson Street, Suite 202, Fort Myers, Florida.
Hey guys, there is some important news that all men should take very seriously. Your prostate health. Are you urinating more frequently? Are you waking up at night to urinate? Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that just don't work? Sound familiar? If you are one of the millions of men with prostate problems that are driving you nuts, there is some great news. Prostagenics is the all-natural product that beat over 157 other prostate supplements in lab tests and was rated the #1 most powerful prostate supplement in the world. #1, because it works. So why not try some Prostagenics, and your prostate troubles will be a thing of the past. You'll get a great night's sleep and stop waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. To get your free bottle of Prostagenics, call now 800-600-2020. That's 1-800-600-2020. Take advantage of our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-600-2020. Do it now.
2, 4, 6. It's the $8,000 trade-in event. $8,000. For 4 days only, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral are giving you $8,000 more than book value for your trade. Thursday through Sunday. Only Florida's #1 Nissan dealer can give you more money than your stimulus and tax refund combined. Bring in any trade, regardless of year, make, or model. Whether it's a loan, lease, or paid off. How can you possibly pass this opportunity up? Nobody pays you $8,000 more than anything is worth. Nobody, except Sutherland Nissan. Plus, our in-store basketball hoop is set up. Make a half-court shot and you win. Rip up the contract because your car is on the house. The $8,000 trade-in event absolutely ends 7 p.m. Sunday. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for detail.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News traffic.
Good Monday morning. Tracking a couple of crashes in Lee County, one at Palomino Lane and Danforth Lakes Boulevard, just north of Daniels. No roadblock, no injuries there, but major slowdowns on McGregor Boulevard in both directions, north of Colonial, south of Bremen because of a crash we're watching in the area right off of Paloma Drive and McGregor Boulevard. So watch especially for some northbound delays in the area. Looking clear if you're getting ready to head out on I-75 and US 41. And we are crash and incident free in Collier and Charlotte County. Looking good on Alligator Alley as well, heading toward the East Coast this morning. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Monday, Southwest Florida. Factoring in some cooler and drier air this morning. In fact, most areas in the 60s, but I've even had a few inland spots into the upper 50s. Now, the same dry air that's keeping us mild this morning will allow for temperatures to peak in the upper 80s and lower 90s this afternoon. But hey, at least a lot of sunshine for your Monday. Now, we do factor in a chance of rain, but it doesn't come in till the second half of your work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Hi, it's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. They say love and passion makes the world go round. Love for home, family, your country, partner, a friend, and love for food. Stevie wants to be part of your love with our food, drink, sports, and fun. Our passion for your satisfaction brings our love to all of our great customers. Whether it's our brisket short rib burgers, Chicago pizza, fajitas, wings, fish fry, or ribs, it's delivered to your table with love. So at Stevie's, we invite you to share our love of great food, drinks, sports, and fun. You'll never get bored or broke. We feel loved by the sound of our great customers. We promise to treat you like family at your home away from home. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomato.com. Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come, come, come.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Maher Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Sometimes in business, the unexpected comes calling. From rent increases, to increased orders, to, I'm gonna say it, unprecedented times. But don't bounce back. Bounce forward with Comcast Business. Bounce forward with fast, reliable internet on the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses and gives you the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business bounce forward with this amazing offer. Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution from Comcast Business, starting at just $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one voice mobility customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and autopay required. Call for details.
Before buttons, things were much harder, like starting an outboard motor. Come on. Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Trust 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
She's been shopping for months to make sure that when she walks, people are always looking at her feet. Italian, classic, modern, she had to find the perfect look. And when her friends come and visit, their gaze always goes down to admire her floors.
Get your floors noticed. GC Flooring Boutique for indoor and outdoor living. View GC Flooring's extensive stone, mosaic, vinyl, wood, and tile. Your Legno Bastogne Gallery on JNC Boulevard. GCFlooringofNaples.com.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website if you want to watch. We do appreciate it. Tonight, once again, another big night at the Lee County School Board. Hope you'll be there. 6 o'clock it starts. Be there a little bit before. We'll talk about this more. And listen, if you're a concerned parent, concerned teacher, parent, somebody who's listening right now, I would encourage you to call because maybe you have some thoughts on what is happening with the education of our kids. Maybe you have an issue with what is happening politically with the people that you vote for and maybe have questions about their integrity or where they stand as far as your values. Maybe you're witnessing something in schools here in Southwest Florida that you want to make mention of. I would encourage you to call right now, 239-479-5592, and we could take your calls right before the end of the program and do that now. Get your thoughts on what is happening. I know we've got a couple of calls on hold. We still have Matt Caldwell on hold as well. We'll get to him in just a second. But first, let's do this. We do it each and every day. It's the top 5 audio clips of the day. Here we go. It's a 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Maher Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to MaharWM.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5. Because in our numbers here, you see that is driving the overall positive approval ratings he has. And anytime you're over 50 in this polarized environment, that's really solid. It's sort of the new 60%.
It's the new 60, everybody. So even though Joe Biden's approval is the lowest of any modern president except for Ford and Trump you can make the case, well, when you got a media against you and everybody's telling you that he's in league with Russia, this hoax that was going on, and Joe Biden has the lowest of any modern president, but 53%. Hey, it's good stuff. As a matter of fact, 53 is the new 60. You know, that's what the left does in the country. It's baby diapers or infrastructure. 53 is the new 60. You know how the language works now.
Number 4.
You know the reason why advertisers in this country love the 18 to 34 demographic? Because it's the most gullible. Yeah. A third of people under 35 say they're in favor of abolishing the police, not defunding, but doing away with a police force altogether, which is less of a policy position and more of a leg tattoo. 36% of millennials think it might be a good idea to try communism. But much of the world did try it. I know millennials think that doesn't count because they weren't alive when it happened. But it did happen. And there are people around who remember it. Pining for communism is like pining for Betamax or MySpace. So when you say, you're old, you don't get it, get what? Abolish the police and the border patrol and capitalism and cancel Lincoln? No, I get it. The problem isn't that I don't get what you're saying or that I'm old. The problem is that your ideas are stupid.
Bill Maher saying something that a lot of people have been talking about and making a little bit of sense there. I guess even a broken leftist clock tells the correct time twice a day. So there you go.
Number 3.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines. Help all the people who have been quarantined. We'll wear our masks and we'll have to stay distant. We'll wash our hands and we'll be more resistant.
I can't do it. It goes on for another minute. But at the Vaccinate New York event, they thought it would be a great idea to write this creepy, culty sounding Dr. Fauci tells us to be good people and vaccinate and stuff's going to go away. And if we mask or unmask, we shouldn't wear a mask. Well, actually, we should mask 15 days to stop the 30-day spread to make sure the hospitals aren't overwhelmed, but they're not overwhelmed. But then also that if you're vaccinated, then you don't have to be worrying about people who are vaccinated as well, that you can all be together, except when the vice president of the United States is 2 football fields away from Dana Bash on CNN doing an interview. It's a creepy song about Dr. Fauci. That's all you need to know.
Number 2.
The governor of Kansas called the transgender sports bill in her state unnecessary and discriminatory. Supporters, though, insist that it's protecting women's sports or girls' sports. What do you see as the core motivation really behind these laws?
Well, in general, I think there's just a tremendous amount of misinformation about trans youth in general. And then to your point, Lana, the fact that, these bills do uphold white supremacy under the guise of protecting women's sport, when we actually know that women's sport protection of it would be to have more funding.
There you go. Former U.S. soccer player Lori Lindsay on with CBS over the weekend on the bills that are out there banning transgender athletes from women's sports, trying to protect women's sports. Her answer is, it's white supremacy. And that's all it is. It's white supremacy under the guise of protecting women's sports. Yeah.
Number 1.
One thing that I will say is that I do think that the Biden administration and President Biden has definitely exceeded expectations that progressives had. I'll be frank. I think a lot of us expected a much more conservative administration. And I think that his, not only what has ultimately come out, but the active invitation and willingness and collaboration with progressives in his first 100 days, or almost 100 days, has been very impressive.
No. That's AOC. No. You don't understand. Joe Biden's a moderate. It's Lunch Bucket Joe. He's a moderate guy. What are you talking about? He's never going to go left, progressive, socialist, anything like that. Dare I say communist, that kind of thing. No, he's not going to go like that. He's Lunch Bucket Joe. He's an average guy. He's like a conservative who stumbles upstairs. Listen, he's fine. There's nothing to see here. No, he never was.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
So there's AOC praising Joe Biden and his agenda and leaning progressive like he always was, always has been. And she's shocked, I tell you, to find out that that's the case. Okay. 239-479-5592. All right, I promised I would do this. I want to go to some calls. Matt Caldwell, I believe, is still there. I don't know because Jake's got to turn his microphone up. Let's find out right now. Matt Caldwell, are you still joining us right now?
Standing by.
All right, he's standing by. I thought we'd take some calls. We got a big Lee County School Board meeting tonight. We're going to talk more in detail about it. I don't know what call 1 is because there's nothing that says what it's about. So let me go to here. Line 3 is Clayton and Benita. Clayton wanted to weigh in a little bit on the school board issue. Is that right? Go ahead, Clayton.
I had a question for Matt. I was going to ask what his stance on was for asking some of these board members to step down. In a Wink article that I read a couple of weeks ago, Chris Patrica said she knew what was in the code of conduct, but still voted for it, and she ran as a Republican. So I just want to know his stance.
What do you think about that, Matt? I don't think Matt heard that. So Matt, Clayton was asking what you thought about the stance. He was mentioning that a few weeks back that Chris Patrica was one person that said that she knew what was in the being described as knowing what was in the code of conduct, voted for it anyway. What about asking these people? What did you want to ask Clayton, to resign? Is that what you were saying?
I mean, we don't have a process to recall them. I'm just wondering what his stance on is and asking them to step down.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the call, Clayton. What do you think, Matt?
All right. Thank you.
Well, and I think they should be held accountable. The real challenge is if you have somebody step down right now, are you going to have a special election? Now, there would be, I think, the process for the governor to appoint them. But I've got a feeling that most of the folks who voted for this policy and did so willingly aren't going to empower Ron DeSantis to appoint their replacement between now and the next election cycle. Yeah. But I think you should show up tonight, everybody who feels strongly about this, and voice your opinion. Make it clear that what they did not represent you, did not represent your values, and you feel like you were conned, because that's ultimately what this community what was done to this community. We were conned by an administration that did this during the height of the lockdown. No public meetings. It's all done on Zoom. I mean, there was no public input. They had a public section in their Zoom meeting, and of course, nobody showed up to talk about this because everybody was at home in the height of the COVID response last May and the first week of June, not paying attention to anything a government person did. We were paying attention to our families.
Yeah. And the fact that we couldn't get toilet paper. Let's not forget that either. We're fighting over toilet paper, trying to figure out how that's going to end up. And the point here is, nothing, not a peep out of Matt. I thought that was kind of funny, but no, not. In my head, when you say something that in your head it's funny, and then when you actually say it, it's not. Anyway, the point is this, Matt Caldwell, that again, there are elections have consequences. And there are elections that are coming up. And if I'm not mistaken, there is an election that's coming up where there are enough seats that will be open that would that could make the difference, majority speaking, if the election is done properly in the way that we would like to do as a community, where those voices that right now that are there that maybe have been reelected recently and have a few years left in their tenure might actually have to do the will of the people as opposed to what they want due to the next election cycle. Is that right?
That's exactly right. We have 7 members on this board. 4 of them are up for election in 2022. 1 is a countywide seat. The other 3 are single-member districts, which means they only run within their zone in the county. And there is no reason, and let me be very emphatic about this, no reason that any single-member seat in Lee County should be occupied by anyone other than a conservative. The only reason that happens is because we haven't, as a community, as a majority, been involved and committed to paying attention to these races well enough in the past. And I think that's the thing I don't want to lose. We're 18 months, we're getting close to a year now till qualifying. June of 2022 is when you have to file your paperwork. And I don't want to lose the energy and the passion and the focus on this while we wait for that year to pass. We've got to stay committed to getting real conservatives on this school board, and not just people that are conservative, because there are folks on this school board that have told me they didn't really like this policy. They felt like they didn't have a choice because the federal law or the case law and their staff was saying this and that. Until there's 4 people on this board willing to tell this bureaucracy no, to tell them that they are not the ones in charge, but the board is in charge, nothing will change. This district is one that is completely and totally run by the bureaucracy out of downtown at the school district headquarters and not by the board. The board is being led by the nose by this bureaucracy. And 4 of these members have to stand up and say, no, enough is enough. I'm hopeful that they will be encouraged by the turnout of these parents to take at least one small step tonight in reining in this out of control bureaucracy. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to happen until we replace the majority of these board members next year.
And a couple of important points to make. Number one, just because somebody says they're a Republican doesn't mean they're a conservative. Don't ever forget that. Big difference. Just because somebody shows up at Republican clubs doesn't mean they have your values. It doesn't mean anything. It's just somebody that's shrewd enough and wise enough to know where the votes are and where they take place and who's voting in these elections. And so I'm not suggesting that there's one single person or anybody that's doing something like that, but just you understand how polarizing everything is right now. You have to vet people. You have to know who they are and understand if they're in office, whether it's school board, county commission, city council, they have a record, number one. And then on the other side of that, to really learn more about these individuals, don't be afraid to do that, number one. Number two, if you're somebody who's listening to all of this and you've heard about the Equality Florida issue that was placed into the code of conduct here and how we didn't get a chance to read that into the record and hear that even during the Zoom meetings during the pandemic and hear specifically about proper pronouns for transgender students, which if they don't use the proper pronouns, what does that mean if somebody makes a stink? What does it mean if somebody makes a stink about the fact that they want to use the gender of the bathroom of their choice due to the gender of their choice, and what it means if they say, no, we don't want an accommodation. We want to use the girls' bathroom, period, end discussion. What happens then? What does it mean with transgender sports? Specifically, what does that mean in the district? Again, we want answers and we want specifics because it seems as if they just want this swept under the rug and then make it go away because we're supposedly not going to bring this up again. But on the other side of it, Matt, the last thing I want to make is this before we go, and I'll let you have the last word, is that this is indicative of where we are in politics. This isn't just a school board, everybody. This is how you make change from now moving forward. Not to be threatened or feel threatened or worried about people who will call you bigots. They're already doing it. Call you racists and homophobes. They're already doing it because you have a different opinion than them as somehow you're not part of the quote unquote culture that's out there. It's a brand new day. Sorry, but this is the way it is. No, it's not. That's not how it works. That you have science and data to prove otherwise on a lot of political issues, and you also have science and data on this issue, and you also have opinions on this issue. Don't let people throw names at you and to kind of make you feel like you shouldn't show up. Your voice is important, but this is the way things are going to be moving forward. In order to have your voice heard in mass, you're going to have to go out, you're going to have to show up, and 2022 is around the corner. And it's not just school board, it's a lot of other things that are going on as well.
This is exactly what we need to be thinking about. 20 years ago, Orange County, which is Orlando, was about our size, and it was overwhelmingly had Republicans as their elected officials. 20 years later, there's not a single Republican elected official in any significant office in that county. That's a short period of time to have that transition, and that's exactly what can happen here. If we don't stay engaged, if we don't have our voice heard, if we don't get engaged in the races that elect the kind of people that shape the future of our community, we will lose it. We will lose it so quick you can't even blink. And that is exactly what we've already seen happen in other places in the state. And I don't want that to happen here. I know that the majority of the voters in this community are conservatives. They're committed to the rule of law. They're committed to the Constitution. They're committed to raising their children the way that they want to raise them, not letting the bureaucracy and the state be the ones that determine the future of their kids. Right. But that's not going to happen if we aren't engaged in every single level, but particularly in this one here where, frankly, we've missed the ball over the last couple of cycles, and we have an opportunity to make it right this next time.
Right. And another thing, again, I'm sorry, so I said you'd have the last word. But yeah, I know. Just want to make sure this isn't about hate, everybody. People are going to say that as well. I can speak for myself personally. This is not about hatred for anybody, any group, anything at all. This is not hate. This is about what we've tried to explain with the process and how it was undermined. We feel like we were undermined, and that's a big part of this. And go tonight, Lee County School Board meeting. Go tonight and just show. Go ahead. There's your last word. Show up tonight. What are we doing tonight, Matt?
6 o'clock at the school district over on the corner of Colonial and Metro. Come voice your opinion, demand that they respect your opinion as a parent.
Right, and be respectful. Absolutely. All right, we'll see how it goes tonight, Matt. We'll see you there.
Absolutely.
Okay, all the best. All right, Stay Break 92.5, Fox News, right all along. Thanks for watching. Glenn Beck is next. Thanks to Therese O'Shea. She's got your traffic. Oh, coming up. First, we've got Brittany Van Voorhees as your weather forecast.
Happy Monday, Southwest Florida. We are starting off on the cooler and drier side this morning.